conspiracy theorist. So, but yeah,
no,
yeah,
dude,
I uploaded a video. It was the one Son said I did with my Mavic Mini, and God, it looked crappy on a 4K TV. It was up for about 2 hours. I deleted that shit after seeing it on a 4K TV. Oh yeah, it's crazy. It looks horrible on that, but on my MacBook Pro, it looks good. So I guess the smaller your screen is, the obviously the compression is going to look different. But Jesus Christ, holy cow!
I know. I probably pissed off YouTube. I uploaded 2 4K videos right in a row. So
it took me
mad at me.
It took forever to get that. It stopped at 55%.
It's probably because everybody's on it and uploading videos.
I thought maybe I screwed up because you know how they say don't close this page.
Right.
I've got the internet split to the TV and to the computer. So they each have their own. So I thought, okay, maybe I can go over here and do something on this computer while that's doing its other thing. But it stopped dead at 55%, and I thought maybe I screwed it up. So I canceled it, then tried reloading it, uploading it again, and it, went to the original. But anyway, Al, I chopped that video up. The original video was an extra minute, like 3.5. Hey, Jody, Joan Shouts. And I had to chop it up because Ron told me, he goes, that's just too much blur on the turns. So that's why I cut it up like it is. And in Power Director, I tried using stabilizer. It actually looked worse.
Yeah, sometimes when you put that effect on it, and I do it on Final Cut Pro, and I seen it with the footage I just uploaded. You could see the clouds are shimmering. You know what I mean? It's like it's pulsing. It doesn't look right. It's not organic. It looks weird.
It had.
Are we live?
Yeah, we're live.
Oh.
Al must be an expert photography.
No,
I'm not
an expert at all.
I just like flying the drones.
I've been flying for quite some time, and it all started from when I was coaching. I needed an angle on the players, and I got a drone and started flying it above them. And then that was back when it first started coming out. So no, I just like you. I watch videos and I kind of immersed myself with it, and it's been a
trial
blast.
And error.
Yeah, pretty much. That's why when Jim was telling me, look at this when we turn and stuff like that, you could see that flickering. But then again, my shit looked horrific. Sorry about that, Jim.
No, that's what I was talking about. I had to cut all that out, but I had to have that one establishing shot coming over to the island. Or, you just have another picture of an island and you don't know where it is. You know what I mean? I don't know. But the original
drone shots. Sorry about that.
Timeless Truths.
Timeless Truths. How you doing?
But the original. Yeah, the original doesn't have that as bad.
It's Ron on there. Hey, Ron, how you doing?
Oh.
Hey, howdy.
C400 AGL. Hi, Mel. How you doing, brother?
So I had used. I don't know if I told you, Ron. I had used the video editing stabilizer, and when I rendered it, oh my God, it looked terrible. And something else, guys, I rendered the preview so it would run faster on my computer or maybe in 4K, and it was just as damn slow. And it took an hour to friggin' pre-render. Is that normal?
No, I've been experiencing some lengthy times. But then again, everybody's at home. My wife works from home, so could be tying up the internet. More people are at home using it, so yeah, I'm sure the servers are going bonkers.
Just lost my internet. I'm actually using my phone as a hotspot, so I hope it's okay.
It is.
No, right.
Yeah, it's not lagging or anything. So.
Wow.
I got a message from my cell phone company that they're going to give me an extra 10 gigabytes of data.
Yeah, they did that same thing to me. Big deal. I don't care.
15, I think it was. Yeah.
Like they're helping you out.
Yeah.
I don't know
they're
what
taking
you got
one for the team.
I've got serious wind.
Oh.
The gusts are ridiculous.
We have the same problem. I'm wondering if that's what is causing the issue.
Look at that one. 3,500 feet up, the winds are 90 miles an hour.
Yeah, this is can you see that? This is over here.
26 gusts, yeah.
Wow.
What the heck is going on?
Yeah, mine's at 14.
And I've got mine set at 150 feet, so it's 26 up to 46. That's crazy. But I flew today anyway.
Oh, yeah, I had that Femi X8 out. I just brought it in.
I feel guilty when I'm going out and flying. Even though I'm by myself, I'm doing all the practice, social distancing, cleaning my hands, doing all that stuff.
We're out flying. What are you going to do,
Yeah, I know. I still want to go over to San Francisco and go capture it. But I'm scared I might get in trouble.
There's nobody out here. Pittsburgh, it's dead, man. It's like zombie land here.
Hey, Mel.
Hey, Al. Yeah, I flew within a half a mile or a mile of Alcatraz.
You did? Nice.
Yeah, and that's a no-fly. Alcatraz itself is a no-fly zone.
I was going to say, yeah.
No, you never got up that Hornet footage you captured. You remember? Remember we were supposed to meet up and it was raining? That was about 2 years ago.
Yeah, that was, beginning of last year?
Yeah. Seems like forever.
When I was out there. And you know what? I've got the footage, and I actually flew that. I actually flew the Hornet. Okay.
Yeah. You went through. You did the link and all that other stuff. Yeah. Right?
No.
Oh, really?
There's no restriction there.
Okay.
What it is a city restriction because of some frickin' mating bird season.
Oh.
Okay.
Welcome to California.
What happened was, my buddy and I, my pilot that I was Senso operating for, we went over there and we were getting ready to fly, and the security guard come roaring up, you can't fly here. Well, sure we can. It's legal. No. There's a city ordinance, blah, 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 blah. And we just blew him off and flew, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the next day not the next day, a couple days later, because where the Hornet was anchored, there's a lagoon next to it where there was a whale trapped. A whale had got inside there and it was swimming around. So the news cameras were all there and everything. Well, I went back and I did the tour on the Hornet with my 360 camera.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
I filmed a bunch of 360 footage. So one of the things I filmed was the Channel 5 or whatever news helicopter directly over the Hornet, and they were filming the whale in the lagoon next to us, right? So that day I didn't fly. But that day when I was leaving, because I was going to go film the whale with the drone, and there was a cop there, and I asked him, I said, hey, is there really an ordinance here about flying drones? He said, yep. He said, if you fly here, he said, I guarantee you will get probably 5 911 calls. I said, do what? He goes, absolutely. We will get minimum of 5 911 calls if you fly here.
Oh, shit.
I said, that's crazy. He goes, yep, but it is what it is. I said, well, a buddy of mine is ex-law enforcement, and we were over here the other day when there was nobody here. Everything was shut down because we wanted to fly the Hornet and do aerial photography of it. And we're licensed and all this. And I explained to him, he goes, yeah, he said, that's all good. He said, but there is a city ordinance. And if someone were to call and complain, I would have to come and investigate. He said, I said, well, we looked and we went to the city website, and him being ex-law enforcement, he knows how to find these things. And I said, he couldn't find it anywhere. He said, no, it's buried in an obscure place in some other ordinance that you would never be able to find it.
Oh.
He said, but I guarantee you, if you flew your drone here and there was people here, we'd get a call and I'd have to come out and tell you you can't fly here and explain to you what the ordinance is.
Wow.
I said, even though the city doesn't have the right to make an ordinance, legally, you cannot stop me from flying here.
Yeah.
I said, if it went all the way to the Supreme Court, I would win. because the FAA is the only people that control the airspace. He goes, I get that, but I don't want to mess with all that. Do you?
Right.
And I went, well, no, I don't.
Good point.
You know, so I left it at that, and I didn't. But I do have drone footage of the Hornet,
Nice.
and I have 360 footage of the Hornet,
Yeah.
and I can edit either one.
When are you going to do it?
Well, I've got most of it edited. The problem is I want to put the two together, and I can't figure out how to get 360 footage and regular footage on the same timeline because it's different. It's different video.
Ron,
So
you played with that, didn't you?
I don't know how
The
to do
360
that.
footage?
With the-
I mean, I tested with this 360 camera that I have. I have two of them. One of them has a chip lens, so it's no good. But I did some in my truck when I was still trucking. Like I stuck it up where it would on a hand railing inside the truck where it was showing outside the windshield and everything. And I drove through Nashville with that camera running. And then after I did the video, and I've got it on my YouTube channel somewhere, you could pan around and look at me and look outside the windows and look at the traffic going by and everything. It was really cool. But when you try to put 360 footage on
A regular
Regular.
timeline.
when you put bilinear footage on monolinear timeline, everything gets screwed up.
Wow.
I tried it, and it doesn't work. It won't work. Once
There's-
you mix that 360 footage in with non-360 footage, it wipes out the 360.
Yeah, bilinear and single linear or whatever it's called.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, you
Every-
know, the
It tries to
360
make
footage
everything
where it just
360
has
and that doesn't
direct-
work.
the direct look where it does the follow mode on the 360 footage and then add that into the other. That'll work. But you're not going to be able to have it to where they can pan it. That won't work.
Well, see that then I have to make two separate videos then.
Right.
Because I walked through all three decks, the flight deck, the hangar deck, and the lower deck where the engine rooms and the crew quarters and
Didn't we
galley.
see some of that video from you?
I probably played some of it from my hard drive,
Yeah.
you know, from just raw video clips. But yeah, I did some really cool editing on one of the videos for the Hornet, and because I walked down the pier next to it and shot. I covered the entire ship just about with the 360 camera on a stick. Now it's not a fancy 360 that makes the stick invisible and all that crap, but
Oh, yeah, yeah.
you know, 'cause I don't have that kind of money, or cameras.
Is that in the software that does that?
Yeah, it's the camera that does that. And I think it's the new Insta 361 that you can put it on a selfie stick and it makes the selfie stick disappear when it stitches it together. And so it looks like you're holding something like this in your hand, you know, and that's all you see.
Right. I have that. I have the Insta 361X, and it will even make your hand disappear. It's all in the software. It's really
Yeah,
not some kind of magic stick or anything like that.
Is that
yeah,
software,
no, it's
is that
the
software
camera.
proprietary? Isn't it like proprietary software? Or
Well,
something?
yeah,
Probably the Insta 360. Yeah.
No.
They had a lot of stuff at CES. They had the 1R and their version of the Fusion. Hey, Steve.
What is Steve?
Hi, Steve.
Good evening, guys.
Hi, Steve.
So listen to this. Brian, tell them what happened to your Mavic Pro.
Well, the gimbal started shaking like hell.
Now, the Pro or the 2 Series
The
Pro?
Pro. The
The
Pro.
Mavic Pro, just
a regular Pro. Okay.
Right, the regular old Mavic Pro. Well, anyway, the gimbal started shaking and everything, so I put a little video up on YouTube, and then I got, I collected all the opinions, all the comments, and I started going through all of them. I said, okay, it's probably this cable. The cable probably went bad. So I sent it into Drone Nerds, and they just got back to me and said, oh, it's the whole gimbal. So it's $400 to fix it. So I'm going to get it fixed, but I'm not happy about it. But
That's half the price of the drone now.
right.
Oh yeah,
It's a real gut
more
punch.
than half.
Yeah,
I mean,
would DJI be cheaper, Brian?
no, they wouldn't
No.
be cheaper. No.
you
Plus,
know,
I
there's
heard-
there's an authorized DJI repair facility, an actual DJI facility in Arlington, Texas, right?
Well, this
You
drone
don't have to send it. You don't have to send it
reputation,
out of country anymore.
No.
It can go right to Arlington.
It's
their
down in
reputation
Miami.
is good. But the thing about it is the thing only has. I've had it for 2 years, but I've only probably flown it 20 times. Never crashed it. Never. How could something like that just go bad, just out of the blue?
Well,
You know what I mean?
it's mechanical and electronic, and mechanical and electronics fail. It just, you can't explain it, but it does. I know it sucks, especially when you can get. I mean, I see Mavic Pros on Marketplace all the time for $600-700, and it's like, if it's got to fly more, it'll be up around 900 or whatever. But in a case, then you get a little bit more into it. But it's like, damn, to have to spend the cost of more than half of what you could actually just buy another drone for.
Well, that's what my Matrice is going to cost, the price of a Mavic 2 Pro.
Yeah.
To fix the flight controller.
But look at what the Matrice is, though. I mean,
Yeah, but that's still, you're talking about a board.
Right. I mean, that's a lot of money for that.
You're just replacing the board.
Yeah.
Man, that just
Hey, Jim, no places around where you're at fixes?
No, it's got to go to California.
And then I sat there. I watched a whole bunch of YouTube videos on
California right now.
fixing this, but that wasn't going to happen.
I'm here. I don't know why.
Yeah, be careful when it comes back, Jim. It might have Corona beer on it. I mean, it might have Corona beer on it.
But
I've got the cure for it, though, Mel. Guinness. Don't drink the Corona. Guinness.
Hey, Jay Santiago joined us.
Good, Jay.
They're closed right now. They're a repair facility.
That doesn't surprise me.
They've stopped reporting the number of their cases and all that stuff.
I know the one in if you use Natasha over at Carolina Drones, she'll send it to the place in Arlington.
Well, he went to Drone Nerds down here in Miami, in Lauderdale. That's where it's at. So
I bought my Aspire 2 from them, Drone Nerds.
They're not bad.
I checked into them before I sent it there, and they seem to be legit. So,
You're going to get the same pricing when you're talking about enterprise dealers. They're all locked into a pricing schedule. But $400, that seems like a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
Oh,
And with the shutdown, everything's going to vary. Although I have to admit, I did put an order in here yesterday, the day before on Amazon. And before I went to check out, it came up with a disclaimer on the right-hand side, just above where your total is at checkout, saying, due to the situation,
right,
that we will not be able to ship your Prime membership until April 19th, and they let it know before you click the button, which I thought was, that's smart. They're finally got their act together, and I don't mind that. It's not something I need, and there's more important things that need to go out, like food items and medical items through them to people that need that more than I need some hardware.
Yeah.
How long ago that?
They said it's going to be till April 19th.
Because I ordered something Sunday morning, and it shipped either Sunday night or Monday, and it's at the house now.
I think it depends on what's being shipped.
Yeah, it could be.
It depends.
well, I bought an X-Star Premium the other day. It should be here on Friday.
I saw that on Facebook.
How much you paid for that?
$400,
Oh, wow.
and it was like new condition. The thing looks
Andrew.
like mint.
Does it
Look,
shoot
it's got all
4K, right?
the extras with it, extra battery, got the filters, the K, all this stuff with it. So
It shoots 4K.
yeah, it's a Phantom 3 with 4K. That's what it is.
Ron, you had one of those hotels, didn't you?
I have the Evo, but my buddy had the X-Star Premium. I'll tell you what, that camera, Brian, in my opinion, it was just as good as the Phantom 4 Pro. beautiful footage.
Well, I
Crystal
didn't.
clear.
I was gonna buy a Xeno 2, but I was like, okay, they screwed me in the butt with that Xeno Pro. I said,
Yeah,
so
what happened there?
That Xeno Pro, man, that thing, they jammed me in the ass with that thing.
It was garbage.
I took 2 flights, beautiful photo, the beautiful video, real nice. Did an update on it, camera never worked again.
Holy
And then
cow.
when I called Hubson, they said, "Oh, send our engineers a video sample." Okay, so I sent him a little sample, a 10-second sample of video. I emailed it to him. They sent me back, "Oh, there's nothing wrong with your video card's no good." Yeah, okay. Yeah, I used the finest micro SD cards you can buy, right? So
Yeah.
So, oh, your video card's no good. Well, what I found out what happened, I just haven't been able to fix it yet, is that the camera went out of focus. The camera is it's screw. You would have to see it. There's a video on YouTube that I'm watched. The guy shows you how to fix it. But it's just a very time-consuming endeavor to repair this. Okay, the camera lens is actually screwed in to this threaded thing in here. I mean, and this stuff is tiny. Okay, microscopic stuff. Well, there's thread lock on the camera lens. Okay, so what happened was after I did the first 2 flights, it must have loosened the lens. So what you have to do is you have to take it all apart and then turn it like a molecule.
You don't know how much.
Together, turn it on, see if the video's clear. If it's not, take it all back apart, turn it another molecule, and you got to do this. I already did it 16 or 18 times. I'm tearing it all apart and putting it all back together. Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
The guy
You would
in the
think that
video,
they'd have a better way of putting it together.
I mean,
No.
the guy in the video explains this can take forever to fix.
Well,
Okay,
sure.
this is, you just got to get lucky and hit that right spot, that focus. What happened was the camera backed out on the threads and went out of focus.
And the one on DJI, the original Inspire camera, even has a magnetic screw holding it on, and you have to get the magnet facing its magnetic north. I mean, if you realize how that camera's hanging on, it's just a 1/4 thread. I don't think it's more than an 1/8 of an inch thick, 250 thousandths thick. Wow! When I first saw that,
Yeah.
and he's right. You have to. It's like a flare lens. You have to try and adjust it just the time. That's why you got to send all that crap just back.
Yeah, well, they didn't want no parts of messing with this, so Hubson can suck it for all I care.
Hey, Jim.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pop out a minute and try the normal internet here again. It's back. I'd rather use that than my cell data.
Okay.
But I'll be back in about 30
But the cell
seconds.
data is working good, Ron, so
Yeah, it is.
Was it?
it works great. It's very clear.
Yeah. Cut down on the usage. Let me hopefully, if it goes out again, then I'm going to go back to my cell phone. I'll be back in 30 seconds.
Well, how is everybody?
Doing good. Doing good.
How's things in California?
This is day 15. We were the first county to go in lockdown in the country.
What do they mean by
So-
lockdown? What do you mean by lockdown?
Well, it's not really lockdown. It's not martial law. It's a shelter-in-place order. Cops are out and about, but there's not many people out on the roads because I jumped on a motorcycle the other day, went for a ride.
Yeah.
But there's still people out there. There's people playing basketball. There's kids in the park playing on their skateboards. So, yeah, it's kind of weird. But I think people over here had their handful of being at home and kind of locking themselves in here.
Yeah, this is people are going to start getting pissed off, and this can't go on forever.
It's almost as usual down here in Florida. I mean, you go to the store, you go to Walmart. I mean, you need your items. I went out today. I had to go to the mail and the post office and someplace else, and you know, there wasn't as many, but there was plenty of people
There's
out
people
there.
out. No,
Yeah.
exactly.
The
I
only
mean,
good
I'm
thing
still working because I have to work. So, I mean, my business, I have to, you know, get calls all the time. I had a furnace call last night. I had to go fix somebody's furnace. So, you know, I'm not getting no vacation. Okay. So I'm still working every day.
Yeah, so am I. The only thing that was good about with this stay in place is that I went down to Costco last week, and outside waiting to come back in, they had a gentleman cleaning the handles off with paper towels and a disinfectant spray, and then would hand you the cart. Well, the whole way down, if you've ever been to a Sam's Club or a Costco, they got that big long area to the side.
Yeah.
They had it stacked up with pallets, 5 or 6 pallets high, making a maze. So you came into this entrance and then you looped through where all these pallets were stacked until you got up to the front door. And then after they were counting people coming out, they let so many people. When I went down there with my, and it was like, oh, I went blank.
We don't have that here. But
Oh.
you know what? Walmart has always had the wipes.
It's like a ghost town.
Yeah. I saw
Them
some.
up here, Steve.
3 to 4 people on an aisle. That was it.
50 people at a time. They're using shopping carts instead of pallets. My son works at Costco.
Yeah.
Guys are wearing N95
I can't
mask
hear
and
Al
gloves.
now.
Yeah. I saw some lady at the grocery store the other day walk into the grocery store, and they just happened to have a thing of those wipes hanging there, and she just grabbed a whole shitload of them and jammed them in her purse.
Wow. They
I mean,
dry.
I mean, some people, they're going to be dry by the time she gets home. They're going to evaporate this. These people are retards, man. I'm telling you. These hoarders are just.
Brings out the stupidity in people. It really does.
Yep.
Well, Ron, unfortunately, he's not here, but Ron was saying, he said he walked into the store and there were 2 women fighting over a bag of baby wipes.
Wow.
I buy them by the case anyway. That's just, I buy my Gatorade and those things by the case as normal. I always do that.
Yeah, I scored 24 rolls the other day on Sunday.
There you go.
I've got cases of wipes.
24 rolls of toilet paper.
Ron, I was going to say what I ordered was a coffee grinder, so it was nothing that was, necessary.
Oh,
Let's take a second and say hello to Art from Artco and David Smith, Jay Santiago. I don't know if we said hello to him before. Peter Carroll came in.
Peter Carroll.
Peter! What did we want to talk about? Oh, Ron, before we get to you, I want to show this. How do I show this now? I was playing. Yeah. This is my Star Trek effect. Oh my God, I got to go over to the other screen. Oh, you can't hear it, can you?
I heard something buzzing.
There's
Something buzzing in there.
I just took a piece of film and was playing with it. I wanted to see what all these stupid alphas were. Come on, do it.
Who got a little lens flare on there?
Yeah, I added the lens flare, and then this was just a regular. What effect is that?
It's called Jimmy popping out of a bottle. Jimmy the Jimmy.
And this, they have these.
It's that power director, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And I always wondered what this max gain was for. It's in your audio effects, but it comes up as a regular effect.
Oh, they got so many effects in there. It's unbelievable.
It'll drive you nuts. When would you ever use? I mean, come on. I can't see why you would ever use these.
I have that software. I've never used it. I paid $100 for it. I never used it for one thing.
Brian, what do you use? What are you editing?
I use iMovie.
Okay.
I mostly edit everything on my phone, and then I bring it to the computer I do the splicing, the editing, the cutting part on the phone, because it's so easy on the iPhone to do that. And then I bring it into whatever I want to use on the desktop, the VSDC or, whatever, if I want to color something or do something else.
Yeah, what is that? Let me stop sharing here. What is that VSDC? I've heard of it. I've never used it.
I'm not a photographer, okay? I just fly the drones for fun, and the photography part is a bonus. The videos are just a bonus of that. Well, a couple months ago, I went out and flew a flight with the Mavic Pro before it took a shit. And I mean, I was withstanding like 35 miles an hour of winds. I mean, super high winds. I even said in the video, there was no other quad I would have flown today beside the Mavic Pro. Okay. Nothing I would have flown but the Mavic Pro. So I went through all this shit, being scared to death with this flight. And then when I got the video back, I said, oh man, this video doesn't look good. There was no sun out, and the video just looked all crappy. And I said, oh shit, I got to do something. I spent all this time driving an hour and a half out to this place. It was that dry lake bed. So I said, I got to do something. So I fired up this VSDC, and I just got in there and just started tinkering around with that thing and got some color into the video. So.
Oh, that's right. Let's tell them how you got in touch with me. You got mad at me, didn't you?
Who, me? I didn't get mad at you. No.
I commented on one of his videos. I said, because I've been playing with the GoPro 8, and I have the and it's got a lot of color, that GoPro 8. Yeah, man.
It does. So does the 7, actually. The 7 does too. The 7 has a lot of color too. But the 8 has more.
I don't really know how to play with the color in camera, which is kind of why I was contacting him. But he put this one video out, and I said, what'd I say? It's awful flat. And he types back, Jim, it's white snow, a brown tree.
Right. Yeah, well, it looked all gray because
what the hell do you want?
There was nothing there but grayness. The snow was 90% of the thing was covered with snow, so that's all white. There was no sun out, so the sky is all gray, and there was like a couple of branches on the ground, so you had this little bit of brown. It's hard to make color when there's nothing to make color with, And
he was in the middle of the desert.
Yeah, right. So I just got to experimenting with this VSDC. And what I like about the software is that it's, first of all, extremely easy to use. Okay, very easy.
Jim,
that's one thing.
I'll be right back.
All right.
And the other thing that I like about it is that it doesn't degrade the files when you save them, which I noticed a lot of other software. You ever notice you'll shoot a video and it looks really clear and good, but then you'll put it in an editor and then you save it after you do something, and then it doesn't look as good as it did when you had the original file. It like the software like degrades it or tries to compress it too much, and it kind of like messes it up. But this thing doesn't do that. It just kind of puts it right out there. It doesn't seem to try to compress the video at all. It'll just, if you start out with a 5 gigabyte video file and you save it, it's going to be a 5 gigabyte file on the other end. It's not going to try to squish it down to 1.5 gigs or nothing like that. And
it's been out for a while, hasn't it, Brian?
Yeah. But they've just updated it to where it'll accept those LUTs and all of that other crap. And now the interface is when you first start the program. Now, I don't use this thing for editing video because it doesn't seem to be that intuitive for actually editing a video, like splicing and joining. Doesn't seem to be really good for that. But for some effects and doing this coloring, it seems to, for free. I mean, don't forget, this is free. Okay, this doesn't cost a penny. For free, this thing is actually pretty decent because it has the interface right here. So where you would just go, okay, drag in a video file, and then right on the right side of the screen will be all the, the dials, and it used to be, before they updated it, it was one of them where you had to type in the values. say you wanted to raise the brightness. So it would be 100 and you would go, 120. And then look at, now it's all on sliders. So now you just have to slide everything how you want it, which makes it a lot easier for dumbos like me, instead of having to type in all these numbers and all these values. Now it has the slider, and now it'll accept all these LUTs from Photoshop and all these other, all these other programs. So you can just like load one of them, and even if it doesn't do what you want, that'll give you like a starting point. You know what I mean? So you can like load one of these LUTs in there, and it'll set the picture. It'll be like, oh, okay, and then you can go in with the sliders and slide them around and get the look you want. You know what I mean?
Fine tune it.
Yeah, like I did that one today. I actually posted one on your Facebook page today where I was able to get that ground where I was flying the Anafi in that office building parking lot, where I was able to get the ground to look all orange, but it didn't change the color of the buildings and the cars and everything else that was there. All that stayed the same. All of that stuff stayed the same color, but it made the ground look like this amber orange type deal. So I thought it was a pretty cool looking effect. And all I did with that was I just loaded some random LUT in there, and then I just started farting around with the sliders. And that's how I got that to look like that. So it's pretty cool for that. And then those LUTs, there's millions of free ones out there on the internet. All you got to do is just type into Google free LUTs, and thousands of websites will pop up and let you download free ones. But the only thing I have found out about using this kind of software to try to color correct these files is that you have to have a high bit rate on the file. It won't, like this thing here. You see the truck is still white, and the office buildings and everything are white, and the sky is that, but it's got this orange deal going here, like it's some kind of crazy looking sun or something coming down on here, But for free, it does a pretty decent job. I mean, I wouldn't complain about something that's free like that.
Bryan?
Yeah.
That's the VSDC free video editor you're talking about?
That's what it's called, VSDC.
Video editor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to put the link in for the download so everybody can have it.
Excellent. Hey, Tomas.
And it really does a decent job for free. They give you the option to upgrade it, but the only thing it does, from what I've seen with the upgrade, is it'll save the file a lot faster.
I was going to ask, what do you get with the upgrade?
Yeah, you get faster saving.
What's it cost for the upgrade?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I'm there on the site. Hold on, I'll find out.
Now, you see, look at that red back there of that gas station.
Yeah.
It's really popping out.
Yeah, if you go further into the video, you'll see, like, this was one of those LUTs I put in, and I just tweaked it a little hair because it was a little dark. So I just tweaked that one, but that makes it give it this little like effect of like it's the sun's going down or whatever,
I see the vignette there.
I'm not a photographer, or I'm not a, one of these type of dudes. So I just fart around with it until I get the look that I want, basically,
The pro version is on sale right now for $19.99.
Does it say what it does, Steve?
What's that?
Does it say what the pro version does?
Yeah, hold on a second.
It's
I've got
pro.
the screen here, and I can put it up and you can see it.
Oh, that's on 4K. Let's see if it'll work. I don't know. Why is the internet hanging? So you tried a bunch of the different LUTs.
Oh, I downloaded probably like hundreds of them. Yeah.
Wow.
And this was just another effect, like one of these high sun effects. It's really not really there. It's from the LUT, bringing that gaze in there.
The opposite of a flare. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's my favorite shot of the whole video right there.
That's cool.
Going between the buildings there. I actually put that in my new intro.
That's something else with those stripes. You know, the black, white stripes coming down. Let's go back to that again.
That's the windows of the office building.
Right there. That right there.
Yeah. That's my favorite shot of the whole video.
I like that.
Yeah.
Look at all the pollution on that concrete.
That's true, though, right?
Yeah. What I liked about it was that it was able to make this orange ground here without changing any color of any of these other things here.
How do you get this green?
I have no idea. That just came in there like that.
Yeah,
but that is glass. That is like a tinted glass of an awning. That's what that is right there.
It's
Hey, Bryan, how's that Anafi flying for you?
Oh, I love that thing, man. That's one of my favorite quadcopters. Man, I love the hell out of that thing.
Has anybody heard anything bad about an Anafi?
Well, everybody's complaining. If you go on the Anafi forums and Anafi this, Anafi that, Facebook and all this mumbo jumbo, a lot of people always complain about they'll just fall out of the sky. You know what? I'll be honest with you. I think that's the people who just aren't putting the battery in right. That's what I think.
That what's his name? Jeff Sibelius.
Now this is a real high saturation with a real high sharpen right here. Yeah, Jeff Sibelius. I know him. Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of trashed their tech support pretty bad. He went through pretty bad experience with them.
Dan Drone Worship is asking range. What's the range on it, I guess?
Or is range the problem with them? How far they go?
You see how I was going around that office building and between those buildings?
Yeah.
Okay. The Anafi does that without any issues whatsoever. But when I bring one of my DJI jobs through here, oh, I get all kinds of warnings and all kinds of shit going on the screen.
So it's a Wi-Fi drone then. It doesn't have that OcuSync, of course not, but whatever they're.
It has the same controller link as the Skydio, no? Is it the same?
The same transmission system as the
transmission.
The Skydio's using Anafi's transmission system, whatever it is. You know, I don't know what it's called.
That's what Dan was just posting. Is that's the only problem is a limited range because of Wi-Fi.
I have that on the original Inspire. I can only go 700 feet in one direction, but I can go a mile in the other.
Well, I mean, you can always, you know, with these paradrones, you can always get around any range by just doing one of those autonomous flights because there is no range on that. They'll just go do whatever it is. You know, they'll go till the battery runs out.
GS Pro, if you have DJI stuff, GS Pro, the free one, you can do that. You can put your waypoints in, but a lot of people use Litchi.
That's what I use.
Yeah, I have Litchi too. I use that for. I did one on with my Mavic Air because I couldn't see. I was around some trees, so I had to use the waypoints.
What, Steve?
If you want to bring that up, I got that comparison lit up.
Okay.
That'll tell you the difference between the Pro and the regular.
Ah, there we are.
Let me zoom it in. There we go. So the free, hold still. There you go. Full video editing. They both have advanced settings for Pro is in the Pro, obviously. Video stabilization tool, hardware acceleration, audio waveform, and then sub-pixel resolution. You get advanced options. Voiceover, you have advanced options. Masking tool, advanced. Chroma key, advanced. And technical support, you have advanced. on
So
the Pro.
I'm assuming you can only render your stuff to 1080, no 4K footage. Could you do 4K?
I don't
Right.
know.
No, I do 4K in here.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
for free, man, you can't go wrong.
Yeah,
No.
the free version, I did that one. I just that's Jim just had playing on there. That was 4K. That was free. Yeah.
Yeah, I was playing it in 4K until it started spinning. Then I went down to 1080.
Yeah. Right.
I imagine the whole world's on the internet right now.
Right. Probably. Hey, that's not bad for $19.99. I might just get that myself.
Hey,
Yeah.
Ron, you got to go to work soon.
Yeah.
Do you want to show us that new Pix? What's it called? The camera?
CoolPix.
CoolPix.
Yeah. Oh,
Before you go.
let's see. Flip.
I know you had put up a few shots of the moon. Like Kevin
Right.
Daddy of 13 has got.
Isn't that like is that the 900 or 1000, Ron? The CoolPix.
That's the one. Yeah.
Oh wow. How much you picked that up for?
What am I doing? I can make him large.
Oh,
It's
Look at that. They're at the 3000 millimeter.
What did I do?
I actually to Kevin the other day, and he was helping me that, and Jim asked, okay, why is it you bought this camera? Is it for everybody? No. Are you going to compare this to an 800 f4 lens? No. I had the opportunity to be out with some photographers a couple of weeks ago in Yellowstone and saw camera equipment in the 20s, 30s, $40,000, $50,000 range. But to answer your question, Al, I got this down around 8, and the price varies from I've seen it from 7 up to about $9.95, and one of the things you got to be careful of, and I actually got it from one of my suppliers I used to use years ago when I was a wedding photographer, but be very careful, guys, out there. There's a wide variation of prices on this. There's a lot of black market stuff out there, and one of the things that I found years ago, especially with Nikon, if you buy black market equipment, even though it looks and acts and says Nikon on it, they know it's black market and they will not repair it if anything happens to it. You have to find some type of Nikon repair service. But anyhow, that's kind of what I got it for. And I've only had it for 4 or 5 days. Comparing it to the Sony RX10 that I have, it's back and forth, plus and minuses on it. And what I'll do is just go through the menus real quick and what I like and don't like about it. For anybody that is brand new to cameras, it has one automatic setting mode on here. You'll see that in green there.
that's me.
And that's for anybody. The camera does everything for you. It's a heavy camera. One thing I can recommend, if you're going out past, anything over 500, man, have it on a tripod. This thing, one of the things that Kevin told me was it's extremely sensitive. And
You shot the bears with this, right?
no, that was actually with the Sony.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wish I had this camera. I tried to buy it on the way to Yellowstone, but I couldn't find it.
Oh.
He was shooting the moon.
But I did I shot the moon. It actually has a moon setting on it. Matter of fact, it's here, and I'll show you real quick. There it is right there.
That's for low light, right?
Yeah, and what it does, all these automatic settings, it sets the camera to what it feels would be the best optimal, settings for whatever scene that you're in. It has a movie manual mode. That way there you can set everything manually, for as far as shooting video on it.
Wow, look at that aperture setting, 2.8. Nice.
Yeah. This light setting, I have not figured out what that is yet. It's some kind of fanciness. I haven't had time to look at it. Then it has a user set, what they call user settings, and it's basically setting up the default settings of the camera itself. I've gone through that. And then there's complete manual. You set everything up manually on it. Yeah, there's that moon picture I shot. And if you actually zoom in on that, you can actually, it actually kept some detail. When you set it to the moon setting, the camera automatically goes out to 2,000 millimeters, and it sets it up for 3 seconds at, I don't know, like f5.6 or something like that. So here's one. Again, I was testing it for a couple of days. But there was I was telling Jim earlier today, there's a lady, can't remember her name or her website. To me, she was a complete idiot. And being honest, she claimed to be a professional photographer. Well, use the simple rule of thumb in old school photography. If you're going to be zooming out to 1,000 millimeters, well, if you're going to handhold, then you need to have your shutter speed close or above that. Otherwise, you're going to run the risk of motion blur. And she did nothing but 90% trash this camera. And she went out and said, "Oh, I shot all these pictures and nothing was usable." But
because she couldn't hold the barrel of the thing steady.
Right. So it has aperture priority, shutter priority, and it has an automatic program mode. I'm trying to figure out what the difference between that and full auto is yet, but here's the full automatic setting. And comparing it to the Sony, as far as frames per second, I can shoot 7 frames a second on this. In the Sony, I'm shooting 24. The Sony runs f2.8 to f4. This is like f5.6 to f8, but f8 at 3,000 millimeters is not bad. Here is just an example of, if you look at this picture, it's about a quarter plus mile away right here. We have it's called Menards. It's kind of like your Lowe's, Home Depot type place. Again, yeah. I think it's somewhere around 1,000 yards. But I started to zoom in, zoomed in again, and zoomed in again. And like I said, everything was on a tripod. And again, with today's editing software, you go in there and add a little detail and sharpness. Things actually come out pretty darn nice. So I was kind of impressed with that. And like I said, each setting that you have, if I bring it to, let's just bring it to program. Good, there we go. And then we go into the menu. You can go in and set, all your different menus. It has let me start at the top, it has like a noise reduction filter. This active delighting, it's kind of for your backgrounds to bring your background lighting up a little bit. You can play with your exposure bracketing. You can actually go in then and actually save if you have particular settings that you want to save and keep. You can do that. And then you can actually go ahead and reset the entire camera all back to the factory defaults. You can actually, when you turn the camera on, you can actually set it up to what you want your zoom to start out at. You can do that. Actually, let me set it to manual. That would be better. Yeah. I'll go in the menu. Each automatic setting actually has its own settings. When you go into the menu, there's like I said, I've lost track of how many different settings there are. But, battery exhausted. Hold on, guys.
Yeah, I was going to say your battery's getting low, Ron. I can see the battery gauge on the bottom left-hand side.
Yeah, I was looking at that too. I was like, I have an adapter that is shaped like a battery.
Right.
That I can when I put my Nikon on the tripod, I can stick that in there, and then it's got the adapter, plugs it into the wall, so it's like 100% power, 100% forever. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Canon way.
What in the world is that?
I don't know. Some crazy son of a gun came up with this.
I think Tomas started to.
I don't know, but with this headset, that kind of hurts my ears. Sounds like the witches of Norwich.
Oh my God! I didn't even share the stupid thing. That was the whole point of it. Look at this.
Oh wow!
That's after 4 or 5 days of Corona isolation.
Yeah.
I'm easily amused.
That's funny. I seen a picture of what we would call a lazy fat guy laying on the couch watching TV with the remote. It
Was
said,
it me?
well, it had a resemblance. No. It said, one month ago, lazy bum. Today, responsible adult.
Right.
You know?
I've seen that one.
Yeah.
But
Ron's got power again.
they got power again. Yeah.
So that's a CoolPix P1000.
CoolPix P1000. Yeah. One of the other neat features is it has what they call a scene mode.
What is that?
The bird watching mode, pretty much, that's just an automatic setting, and it shuts all the noises off. Every time you hit a button, it don't beep, and every time you hit the shutter, it don't beep either. There's that moon setting. Here's your scene setting, and then you can actually go into and pick all these different scenes that they have, and it has there's beach, there's snow, sunset, dusk, dawn, night landscape, close-ups. There's a food setting, fireworks. It has like a backlighting where you can bring your backlighting up a little bit. It does some panorama. It actually does 360 not 360, but in your panorama, you can do it at 180 or a wide 360.
My old Rebel XT doesn't name settings like that. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. And actually, here, I forgot to show you, Jim. Oh, shoot. There it is. It does pretty decent macro setting, too. I just took a bottle of water outside and got up about an inch or two from it. So its macro setting is actually pretty good, too. Has a built-in flash. It has Wi-Fi. So if you want it has an app that connects to your phone. Right now, I'm having a lot of trouble with that. And then reading the forums, about 80% of the other people are having trouble with it as well. It has an HDMI output. So if you want to connect it to your TV, you can do that. It has a Bluetooth module in it. I actually ordered the remote for it. The remote's about $25. That's what arrived from Amazon today. What else did I tell you? Oh, in movie mode, it will shoot 4K at 30. It'll shoot 1080p at 3060 and 120.
Show that barrel. Show that lens barrel going out again. That goes out to 3,000 times.
Yeah. The other neat thing with the zoom on, you can actually zoom it from your trigger right here.
3,000 zoom. That's incredible.
And it actually has a setting on the side. So if your hand holding it, you can see it right here. You can.
Tight and wide. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So Trying to think what else I can tell you about it. Like I said, I've only had it 4 or 5 days. It has a neat thing too, where it has the articulating screen, on it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it has a same thing like with my Sony. Like if you can turn this on or off, but like as soon as you put your face up, you'll notice to the eyepiece, that'll go off. It has your automatic exposure and automatic focus lock, which is right here. It's pretty standard on a lot of cameras. One of the neat things I like about the focus on this, let me get out of.
You can do the automatic lighting, the automatic AE, right?
Yeah.
You just press it. Yeah.
I think I've already have it set up.
This looks. I have the broadcast camera like this, and you actually hold up a sheet of paper 10 feet away, and then you hit the AE button, and that exposes for the brightness. Like if you're outside shooting, does that make any sense? Like a gray card, like you're using a gray card.
Yeah. Trying to find that setting for the focus.
4D?
What's that?
You said 4D?
That's for the backlighting.
Oh.
Here it is here. One of the things you can do and set up, I have it set at automatic normal, or you can do wide or whatever. But when you press down on your shutter, and then you can actually move your focal point around if you want, so which is kind of neat.
That's cool. Can you touch the screen? Is it a touch screen?
No, that's the only bad thing about it. Yeah. A lot of people were complaining about that.
So if you're trying to do a fast shot, fast move over to the left side focus.
Right. It has a whole array of like different focus things. It actually has a subject tracking. So in other words, if you're and my Sony's actually pretty good with that too. Where
takes priority.
If you have a moving subject, it'll actually kind of spot that moving subject and keep focusing on it. And then I'm not really sure what this target finding mode is. It has a face priority, like I said, if you're shooting portraits, and it's almost like the the Osmo Action or the Osmo Pocket, where it does that face detection. So, like I said, guys, there's a lot of menus on it. I've only had it less than a week. It's so far so good. I've gotten a couple good pictures out of it. I'm actually going to try it on the way home tomorrow morning from work. In hopes that I wish I would have had it last week in Yellowstone when I was filming that grizzly. I think I would have gotten a lot better shots. But then again, I was standing there looking like a big rookie next to some of these guys there. I was telling Jim and a couple others, I got to meet Bob Landis, who is he's one of the top photographers for Discovery Channel and National Geographic. He had a camera that would make every one of you drool. Oh my God, the stuff he had, it was pretty incredible. He the day before, he was over about 20 miles over towards the northeast end of the park, and he was filming 12 wolves that were chasing down a bison. The footage he got was just unbelievable. He was showing it to me.
Now, how much was this again?
This camera was up. I got it around $8. It goes from anywhere. I saw it on one of the websites I've used, places I've used when I lived back east, a place called Abe's of Maine. They're obviously up in Maine, but they're kind of like comparable to like B&H, out in New York or whatever. But it was going anywhere from $7. The highest I've seen it is up to like $9.95. And I said, guys, be careful if you go on, any camera technically, but I know especially with Nikon, be careful of those what they call the international model. Basically, it's black market. And I said, something happens to it, and that happened to me one time. I learned my lesson the hard way. You know, I had a camera that was fairly new. It broke down on me, and I went to send it back to Nikon, and they're like, "Nope, sorry, this is black market. We won't fix it." So I had to find an authorized Nikon repair service, and it cost me a lot of money, and it wasn't under any kind of warranty.
Didn't they used to make two models? One would be silver and the other would be black.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. So watch that. Be careful on that. But I said I'm gonna continue. I'm actually gonna maybe do just a video on the shots and video from this camera in particular. It has also has time lapse on it. It actually has a hyperlapse mode too, which I haven't got a chance to play with yet. So like I said, I've had it in my hands a limited amount of days, but so far, you know, does it focus as fast as that Sony? Absolutely not. Does the shutter wrap off, you know, as fast as the Sony? No, it don't. You know, but the biggest selling point with this camera is the zoom lens, and you're not going to get the image quality that you're going to get with a, you know, a $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, you know, 600 f4 or, you know, whatever the case may be. But I'll tell you what, it's not bad, you know, and I'm not out there doing, you know, magazines and TV work. I'm out there to get some nice shots, do some stuff, put on YouTube. But it would be good, you know. Like I said, it's under $1,000.
Have you you've done 4K video with it, right?
Yeah. So
you liked it?
So far, yeah. But I can't emphasize enough, guys, as far as putting it out on a tripod. Get yourself a good heavy. I brought one of my old beast from back in the wedding days. That tripod probably weighs about 10 pounds, 15 pounds big, and it's heavy. But that's what you need if that's what you're going to do. And the biggest reason I bought this is I just love my wildlife photography. You know, I live in an area that I have that opportunity, and I wish next week I have a bunch of days off. I was going to go back to Yellowstone, but it's closed. This is prime time for especially the mama bears to come out. The males are out now, and mama bear and the cubs are going to be coming out real soon. You know, and you don't want to be within 500 yards is a safe distance, I think.
Yeah. A safe running distance.
Yeah, you want to be careful this time of year. But that's my passion, wildlife and, photography, nature photography. So, and that's the reason I bought this camera. But so far, like I said, there's a few quirks I'm learning. And I think a couple of the photos that I've gotten that I complained, hey, that's kind of blurry. Its focus is kind of soft. It's because I was hand holding and just wasn't steady enough. So if you don't mind being on a tripod, well,
for you could even put it on the truck window, right? Have your window halfway.
Yep, I have a window pod that I use.
Have you thought about a mono?
Pardon me, Steve.
A mono.
It's like a little window pod. You actually clamp it right to your window. You roll your window about 70% of the way down. And then
No. About a regular monopod.
I've got one. When I get home tomorrow, next couple of days, and I might test that out to see if that helps at all. I've got a pretty decent monopod too. So again, it's all in the testing phases. The big thing that sold me was that zoom lens. For a camera under $1,000 and to get out at 3,000 millimeters. Yeah. And I said that I'll show you.
Normally you're buying the lens for that much.
It's let me bring this.
Hey Ron, is it a in-body stabilization or lens stabilization?
Yeah, it actually has different. There's about 3 or 4 different types of stabilization within it as well. But keep in mind, guys, this, here it is. Like I said, if you can barely see the building way out there,
What, in that shot?
In that shot, here it is, right there. But they're zooming in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's about 1,000 yards away. Yeah.
Wow. Now, what is, how many?
Say again, Steve?
How many millimeter?
It's 24 to 3000.
24 to 3000.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, is it going to be my top camera? Probably not. But I think it's going to bring a lot of uses for what I like to do, you know. So, but
if you know what, for the way you come up on stuff, for fast shots like that, like you just rode to Yellowstone because you felt like it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I'll tell you that you know, Ron is a spokesman for the Sony RX10. For those of you that don't know it, he's taken home for him to be the spokes.
That's that camera.
That's his other camera. 1 inch, one sensor, right on that one. Is that the 1 inch sensor? Oh.
And my favorite photo, one of my top favorite photos to date, is, I think I showed you last week maybe, but you know, is this photo here? You know, I caught with the Sony.
Oh, that's nice.
The Eagles.
Yeah, but
Nice.
But I'll tell you, it looks blurry here, but you know, because of the. But I'll tell you what, the thing is tack sharp. It's not often you get two Eagles like that. You know, especially that odd. I'm still trying to figure that one out. I'm going to send that to somebody and see if they can tell me why is it that eagle is so different. I've never seen one with a white chest like that. His eyes are a different color. His claws are white versus black. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Ron, how come you never thought about selling your photos to like stock footage?
Didn't I say that to you the other day,
You
Ron?
got some really good shots, really nice ones.
You know,
not your everyday stuff, dude.
I don't know, Al. I actually did enter that contest, Steve. I said that, you know.
To put that picture in?
Yeah, yeah.
I've been hounding him to not really kind of put the thing in there and going, you know what? For all the shots you do, photography contest, you know, a grand prize. I'm going, you know, that would be some awesome. I mean, we were talking about. He sent me the picture, the two pictures of those that he took. And he goes, well, what about this instead? And I'm going, oh, yeah, the awesome shot of those eagles.
Yeah.
And the whale shots, too. Those whale shots he got last time.
You know, this is my other favorite. It's actually with the Sony as well. You know, that's the one I really like, too.
Yeah.
That was about 100 yards away, I think. But, yeah. But anywho, like I said, Jim, I could spend an hour on this thing going through all the menus, but that's the basics of it. And again, I'm not at a point where I could give it a review yet. I have several days off starting tomorrow, and I'm going to spend some time with it, see what I can learn about it. You know, and again, I like that I had a chance to talk to Kevin a little bit, Daddy of 13.
Yeah,
he gave some pointers on it. He's had it for a while.
Yeah.
And
Ron, isn't there like two variations? Because I actually was looking at that camera just for the lens itself. But there isn't there another one that's like I guess the lesser of the model with the lens not as big, like 2000 millimeter.
That's the P900.
Okay, so there isn't P900. All right.
Yeah. Supposedly the difference between the two, the P900 is out at 2000. This goes at 3. There was some better image stabilization. Trying to remember. Wasn't a whole lot of differences, but the big thing was that extra, you know, that extra zoom. So, yeah, you know, I'm coming up on the springtime, and again, my favorite thing is wildlife, and that's the prime reason I bought it.
There's money in that.
Yeah.
When Jim comes out to South Dakota, you know, I'm going to be taking him up into those areas, into Yellowstone, and you know. Where we're going to find grizzly bear and elk and moose, and you know, and hopefully get some more shots. Yeah. Yeah.
You hand the camera to Jim and say, "Go take a picture of that grizzly bear over there."
Yeah.
Sir.
Me and my Me and my GoPro.
Well, the only thing I have to do with Jim, I just come along and I bring a 22 with me, and the only thing you got to do if the bear starts chasing you is shoot Jim in the knee and guarantee he's the slowest one back out of there.
Bait. Jim's the bait. You don't have to worry about that already. I've had 2 knee replacements. You can beat me.
Yeah. Well, guys, I better get ready to head out the door. And Jim, thanks for having me in. Let me show this. And
you appreciate it.
Yeah. It was good seeing you guys, Bryan. I think this is the first time I met you. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, brother. Nice camera.
And thank you. Yeah, we'll see what the future holds for it. Al, good seeing you, buddy. Still want to pick a day someday, sit and chew on your ear about Final Cut Pro.
Yeah, definitely. Whenever you're ready. I'm out of work for the next few weeks, so and plenty of time. Yeah, we're not going back to May 1st. They extended it, so it doesn't look like we're going back to work at all until next school year. So
that's what I heard here in Florida.
That's what we're hearing. So
they shut our school. They shut our schools down here. Just about in most of all the counties down here for the whole rest of the year before this last notice, even.
Right.
Yeah.
Ours too. I don't understand it. I don't think it's fair.
No.
All right, guys. Well, I better roll. Everybody have a nice evening.
Thanks, Ron.
Take care, Ron. Yeah. Great job. Stay safe. Call me when you want to do that. Don't hesitate.
Yeah. Well, Steve, Bryan, and Jim, take care. Have a good night.
You too. Be safe.
Bye-bye.
What happened to Mel? Did he fall asleep?
He said he'd be right back.
Oh, okay.
Into the chat. He posted in there a while back.
So any of you guys thinking about getting a new Evo? They posted I'm actually subscribed to their channel, and they posted all these new like how to calibrate the controller, how to calibrate the drone, but yet none of it's out unless it's out already.
I don't even have a 4K TV yet. I don't need the 8K. I think my Evo is, I have the regular Evo, the first one. It's spectacular. I don't think I need to upgrade that right now.
All the TVs at CES were 8K. I don't think I'm ever going to buy one, though.
I mean, I have 3 1K TVs, 3 60-inch 1K TVs. I don't even have I had a 4K TV like 5 years ago when I sold it because nothing was in 4K then. When I bought it, there was no 4K. There was so it'd be just like right now buying an 8K TV. What am I going to watch on it? Evo footage? That's the only thing you're going to see.
Because there are no TV stations putting out in 4K.
Right. It's just, to me, 8K that's a pipe dream right now.
The only thing that's just my opinion. I would get the Pro for the sensor, for the 1-inch sensor. If I was going to get any of them, that would be the one I would look at. But until they come out with the true specs of that, I'm not going to bother.
Now they just did an update on the Evo, which I put on and I took it out for a flight, and it even the gimbal is even more stabilized. It's just like never budges. It's just right there all the time now.
Was it budging before?
Yeah, you would do that just like you were talking about earlier when we first came on. When you would do that turn. Now this is just rock solid now.
What we were talking about is I shot that video today, which most of you saw. And I was this island is away from the shore where this 1916 house was. But in order to show where the island is, you have to make the turn. And man, I was using the Mavic 2 Pro in high quality mode, which when you put it in high quality, it shuts down the field of view. And when I came around, I mean, it's not so bad on the original, the what I call the blur. And Al watched it on the 4K TV. And what'd you say about it, Al? It was pulsing?
Well, it's like the top of the trees were pulsing. But, I don't know. It could be the YouTube compression. I don't know. My video that I uploaded today looked like crap. I actually wound up deleting it. So I don't know. It could be my TV.
I am practicing what I preached. I put it up per YouTube's recommended megabytes per second, which is actually lowering the quality because we're all shooting at 100 megabits a second. And I think I put it up at 56 for their 4K 30 recommendation. And yeah, I rendered it correctly. Everything was right this time. Still, I wasn't happy with how it looked on the turn.
Did you see it on your 4K TV?
Yeah, I'm watching it on here.
Did you see the same thing?
No, to me, I'm just seeing too much blur when it turns.
Well, maybe that's what I'm just not.
Maybe we're calling it
different
things. You're calling it pulsing, and I'm calling it blur.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I'm not making a fast turn. It should be all in focus.
Right. So anyway, Mike just happened to say something in the chat. To anybody that has an Evo, or, you know, they've incorporated the Evo 2 into the Evo 1 app instead of coming out with a new app, which kind of messed up the Evo 1 users that are used to the way the app was. Now it's kind of screwed the interface up a little bit. So it's just something you're going to have to get used to. When I didn't know they did that when I took the Evo out for that test flight. And I'm sitting there talking to myself like, hey, where's the signal strength, and where's this and where's that? And I had to actually edit all that crap out of the video that I posted because I didn't want all the comments to come, hey, you stupid fuck, it's over here. You know, it's over here and all that shit. So I actually cut all that out. But I was sitting there, you know, scratching my head. Where the hell is all this data that used to be right here? You know, well, since they've incorporated it into the Evo 1 app, so now you have to go searching around and adjust to the app the way it is now. So, and it does it just like, you know, what Hubson did with the Xeno and the Xeno Pro. You know, the app comes up and it says, which one do you want to use, Xeno or Xeno Pro? Well, it does the same thing with the Evo or Evo 2. You know, so it doesn't ask you that every time. It asks you that the first time, you know. So once you hit Evo, just regular Evo, then the next time you load it, it just goes right to regular Evo, you know, but it asked you the first time, you know. So, I don't know.
All right. So there's two different apps.
But it's in one app. They didn't put out another app. But I don't like it because the way they changed it, and they didn't happen to mention that in the you know, the release notes or any of this crap for the update. They didn't say, oh, by the way, we changed everything on the app and you ain't going to know where the signal strength is or any of this other crap, you know. Good luck finding all that. Because I was flying out. I was about 2,500 feet, 2,600 feet out. And I'm looking, I'm like, okay, well, how's my signal? I don't know. Because I'm was in a city area, you know, and I didn't know what the signal strength was. And I'm looking around on the screen like would be normally right there. And I didn't. And then somebody left me a comment, oh, I got to swipe over on the screen and it comes up and all this other crap. So, but it's just like when you're out there flying, you know, you want to know where that crap is, you know, but they didn't say nothing to anybody about it. So,
Well, we've done an hour and 20 minutes, not 3 hours. That's pretty good this week. Last week, didn't it turn political, Steve? What happened? Or Al?
It did towards the end. And then there was the history lesson.
Oh, God.
History and political.
Never mix the two.
Nope. And you don't want to start even mention anything to do with this bug that's floating around. They'll take down your and tag your videos down that quick now.
It's blacklisted. Yeah, I heard. Now, who was it that was saying that? One Andrew from Pusa Studio said that this one guy got 3 videos taken down because he used something to do with the virus. So
really, but then I get all this on my timeline, like the Chinese news stations and talking about how all the stuff in China is going on, and it's always popping up on my timeline. It's always about COVID-19.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike.
And now they've kicked out all those journalists out of China too.
Wow.
Now, what's up with that? I haven't heard about that.
Oh yeah,
They stopped reporting their numbers.
Pulled the press cards off from just about every major newspaper, television, and you name it.
Let me share this real quick. Now you see all the cases on there, right? And you go down but to countries. And China's only had, look, now there's no updates on new cases.
Of course.
Right. What's a communist country? They control everything there. They're not going to let. That's their business, not your business.
Yeah. Except for when they sell you drones, right?
Right. Exactly. Have a vegetable.
Now they should, to be fair, because people are really, really stupidly scared. It's ridiculous. They should post how many die from the normal flu every year.
So far this year, there's been 21,000.
Yeah.
In the United States. And
but you know how it gets. Anybody who gets sick now is going to have the virus.
Right.
Yeah.
Stop
right.
that.
In the 2017-2018 year, there was 61,000 people in the U.S. that perished from it. And of that, there were 53 million that came down with it and 21 million seeking medical attention. And of that, almost 900,000 hospitalized.
That's of the normal flu.
Right. The normal run-of-the-mill flu.
Right.
Well, see, I just hearken everything back to 2011. Okay, this is what I use as my barometer for all this crap. Okay, 27,000 people died from H1N1, swine flu.
Oh, bird flu.
Nothing was ever closed. They never closed one thing.
Right. Right.
Okay, nothing was ever closed. 1,000 people died before the media ever even reported that it was here.
Yep.
How did this get so big? I spent the first week of January.
This is a media event. This is a political event. That's what this is.
Because Bryan,
right off the bat.
I spent the first week of January with nothing but Chinese people.
That's because you're going to see Governor Cuomo as the nomination for the Democratic nomination for president at the convention.
I think you're wrong, Steve. I think it's going to be Hillary.
They're both going to to be there. He's going to go
this year.
Yep.
No.
Oh yeah. You mark my words.
She'll be vice president.
Mark my words. She's going to be back. Mark my words. She's coming back in there.
She'll be vice president, and Cuomo will be president.
Not in this country.
Well, he'll be.
Cuomo doesn't have the. I don't think he's got the personality, but who
no.
knows? Who knows?
Look at all the news time he's got right now. I mean, they got him up as a poster child.
But that don't mean it's good news time.
No.
Just because you got FaceTime don't mean it's good FaceTime. Look at all the FaceTime Joe Biden has, but every time he goes on TV, he falls in his oatmeal.
Yeah. And to me, the family should be reprimanded for letting that man do with it. That's not something to laugh about. I don't care how much you like it or not. A man that is losing his memory on stages, what I feel is form of Alzheimer's, it's not a laughing matter. It's a sad situation.
The only reason Joe Biden's even doing this is because Jill Biden wants to be president. Okay, this is all his wife. This is all his wife's doing.
It's the DNC behind it myself.
Yeah, well, his wife and the DNC.
Yeah.
Al, do you know what the heck they're talking about? Because I don't.
I don't want to even get involved in it. I want to get people mad. You guys
But
see
you're
that
right.
in Mitch's stream that one day.
Oh, Mitch can talk politics forever.
Hey, Jim, what are you going to do about the Matrice? Let's talk about that.
I have no options right now. If they're closed, so it sits there. I mean, what am I going to do? And that's
is that the only one? Is that the only one you can send it to? Is DJI? You can't send it to Drone Nerds or what?
No, I'm not sending it to anybody. Because this is not my fault. I remember, Steve, you and I were talking. I was 5,000 feet away when it disconnected. This is a long time ago. And so I went back into my air map records, and this thing has been having disconnection problems since I bought it. And if they have to replace the flight controller board, it's not going to be on my dime. They'll tell me it's going to be.
Right.
But
you're going to tell them to pound it.
They tried doing that with me with the Mavic 2 Pro batteries. My batteries swelled up, and
you had that. You had that problem.
Oh hell yeah! And they said to me, "Well, sorry about your luck. Buy new batteries." And I said, "No, sorry about your luck. I will not only throw all this crap in the trash, but I'll make sure I get the word out and nobody buys your crap."
Huh.
And I got an email the next day saying we will replace them for free.
Damn. I wish.
And by the way, I have 15 of them.
Well, it's a safety problem. Did you cause it? No. Is this my problem? No.
Now, wasn't this that thing with the batteries? Wasn't that the second batch? Wasn't that the second batch of the batteries when when it came out? Those batteries were good,
right?
But I think it was the second batch when they started making the batteries for you just to buy extra batteries.
Yeah.
Those were the bad ones.
I had bought the Flymore kit, so I had 3 batteries, and they were all manufactured in. Mine were July of 2018, but it seemed like June, July, and August were the batteries that were having problems. Now, DJI doesn't make the batteries. What do they care, So they should have turned around and just replaced them for everybody anyway. Mm-hmm. But mine only had 29, like your Mavic Pro. Mine only had 29 cycles on them.
Yeah.
They were all under 30, and they're sitting here bloating at $160 a piece. No, come on. That's a rock in the air.
I've never had a DJI battery go bad. I still have my original Phantom 3 battery. It's perfect.
Right.
I think it's location and what type of weather you're flying in. No, it's humid.
No.
Pretty humid, huh? In Florida?
This batch, they were just sitting there and they bloated.
Plus the care of the batteries to make them last as long for Bryan is properly caring for them. It's just like I did a reconditioning on all 3 of mine. And I've got them ready to fly out now to recondition them to see if I gain that much more flight time on it.
Those that GoPro Karma. I think Steve, I have that Karma.
Right.
That I didn't even know until maybe like 3-4 months ago. I didn't even know that those are smart batteries in there too. They self-discharge in that Karma. I didn't even know that.
No.
I did not know that, but I
don't know why they gave up. Why would they just give up like that, GoPro? It was a damn good idea.
The batteries would fall out.
Yeah, but
they
that's
fixed
a latch fix.
They fixed it with the latch,
Yeah.
I just think they lost a lot of money and just didn't want to go with it. They just figured DJI got the market cornered. And
Can you imagine now with to go in with the new GoPro and being able to, if they came back out and put that in a drone, I think they'd give DJI a run for their money.
That's what I'm saying. It was such a good idea. It was an Osmo Pro and a drone all in one.
Yeah.
I just updated the Karma grip today. So.
Oh, okay.
You have to actually update that too. Because I wanted to try my Hero 8 Black on it. Okay, right here.
Right.
I said, oh, let me try the Hero 8 on here, or the 7, I mean. The 7, because I had the 6 on there, so I wanted to try the 7, and I put it on there, and it said, oh, it won't work until I update the grip. So I had to update the grip.
You're lucky they had an update for it.
Oh, does it work with it?
Well, they still support that. They still sell this.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they still sell the Karma grip. Yeah.
I honestly didn't know that. That's some bad marketing then, because we could buy that for the 8. And I didn't see that at CES either.
The 8 won't fit on here. It only goes up to the 7. But they might make an adapter to be able to slide the 8 in. Who knows? I mean, I just don't know. But they still sell this at Best Buy. You can still go to Best Buy and buy these.
Really?
Yep.
How much?
I've never even seen it.
And they've never come down 1 penny. They're still $2.99.
Oh,
Yep.
you're kidding.
But I got this free with the Karma, because I bought the Karma with the GoPro Hero 6 Black and this, the whole bundle.
Yeah.
I got that for $5.99.
Has anybody been making props for that, like Master
Yeah,
Air?
they have props for that from that. What's that? The big company that makes the props.
Master Air Screw?
Yeah, they make
Or
them.
another one. Yeah.
Master Air Screw. They have. I did some videos for them. They sent me props, and I made some videos for them for those. They were pretty good, but their ones for the Mavic Air were great. They were good. The ones they made for the Spark were garbage. They were crap.
These ones for the Mavic 2 Pro, man, they are plastic and they bend like 180 degrees, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah.
I'm scared to use them, but
Yeah, I wouldn't use them. I wouldn't.
Really?
I'd never put them suckers back on the Spark. Never.
Really? I
Never.
like them. I think they're quiet.
Did you?
And
You like
they
them?
work pretty well for me. Yeah, I got them
Oh,
on both.
didn't-
I
had
got them
problems with them.
on my Pro and my Zoom, orange ones.
Yeah, right for the pro.
Well, hey, they worked great for the Mavic Air. I made a couple of videos, and they were great for the Mavic Air.
They're
Quieter, and it flew great, no problems. Better battery life. They were great. The ones for the Spark, man, my Spark, flew terribly.
Jim, you haven't put them on your Pro yet?
no, man, I always have winds down here, and they're shifting winds. So I'm just afraid of, well, not really afraid, but that I'm not going to like how it handles the wind. Because you're not going to know. You're just going to see it in battery time being wasted.
Right.
I've flown,
How much the motor has to fight.
both birds out in the coast, along the California coast, with those props on. And they did well. They worked pretty well. I was shocked. They did real good. Got to give them a try, Jim. Got to give them a try.
I got to show you something here. What was this? We were out yesterday, and I was using the GoPro. And they're building. Where did it go? Oh, they're building next to me, right? So this guy he lives right there. So he takes out his ATV. And he's just going back and forth. No big deal, right? Now, what he did was he told me, I'll come back so you can get a better shot.
It's impressive.
This has already got, they started building on it already, this lot. But the whole point of it was, all he did was this.
Popping wheelies is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a pretty big guy, too. I'm going to give him
I was
Pretty
thinking he was
impressive.
going to fall backwards and you were going to get the viral video.
Good counterbalance.
especially up the hill.
Now, all that turned into this.
Oh,
Oh, God.
The
how does that
friggin'
happen?
neighbors called the police.
Oh, come on. And what law did he break?
He was on his property.
That's insane. That's what you're dealing with there, Jim?
I told you it's, 4 times I've had them at my house for flying drones.
Wow.
God.
And they still go out there.
Beware the do-gooder.
It's all these friggin' people that moved down from New York And, they want it their way and all that. Go the hell back to where you came from, man.
You act like they're Mexicans.
They are.
So did they give him a citation?
No, of course not. The cop
What did they tell him?
I'm not going to play the audio, but he just said, when people call, I have to respond.
Well, yeah, he can't ignore it because it's on the record.
Right.
Because
So
then
he
he
turned
can get
around
in
and said,
trouble
"Have a good
for
day."
ignoring a call,
Yeah, he did. He turned around and said, have a good day. They called. I have to respond. I'm here. You're not doing anything. I'll see you later. But it's just that. I mean, you know what I mean? What do people want? A police state? You saw what the guy did, right? He did it 3 or 4 times.
Right. On his own property.
Somebody called
his
a
own
noise
property.
complaint in the middle of the day.
Right. They got nothing to do. Their lives are boring.
I know, but are we getting to that stage, Bryan?
Yep, we are.
That's ridiculous.
I guess I'm fortunate. I haven't dealt with that. In California, your neighbor's pretty close. So
Yeah,
everybody keeps to themselves. But yeah, I've flown my drone and nobody's ever said anything. Thank God, knock on wood.
Yeah.
Hey, Al was or not Al, but Mel. When he was on, he was talking about that Alcatraz thing.
Yeah.
And now that's considered a national park, so you're not allowed to now wait a minute. Now you're not allowed to fly over it, or you're not allowed to fly close to it, or what's the story with that national park thing?
I don't think you can fly like from it, above it, around it. I think you can fly in the water next.
Okay.
Yeah, you can fly in the water next to it.
Because I went and flew with that. Was about last Sunday or whatever. I went over to that old blast furnace in Pittsburgh along the river. Well, that's a national historical site. Now, I didn't fly over it, but I flew right up to it and then backed out. The video was only like a minute and a half long, where I just took off and flew right up to it and backed out. So I didn't fly over it, but I don't know the rule on a historical site and a national park is a different rule from what
that would be your own local jurisdiction too for historical.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless it's a national historical.
I think.
Did you hear Bryan? Did you hear the geofence? That's why you stopped and came back.
No, I just didn't want to fly over because I just wasn't sure.
Oh, okay.
So it was that Cary blast furnace. It's along the river. It was an old steel mill, and they tore it down, but they left one big furnace there, and they do tours. And once May starts up, they do tours. So I went and did a climb. I mean, believe me, what I had to go through just to get this shot was unbelievable. I had to find a park that was like a mile away, climb down over these railroad tracks, go down a hill and through these woods, across these train tracks, and then slide down a hill. And then there it is right there. And then I got the shot for a minute and a half and left.
Let's go over that rule again. You're not allowed from a state park.
Right.
You're not allowed to take off from or land in.
National park.
National park. Like Yellowstone, you're not allowed to fly a drone in Yellowstone Park.
Right. At all.
Okay. Well,
a state park
is considered a national park.
Okay.
It's not a historical site. It's considered a national park.
You're not allowed to. The rules, according to the book, is you're not allowed to take off from a national park, but it doesn't stop you from flying into it from outside because on the I had a friend of mine that went to Lake Powell and then wanted to fly it's part of the outskirts of it there. There's these beautiful, red rock formations and everything.
Right.
And right up on one of the side of it is Indian reservation, and it's not a part of the national park. So he got approval for them to come on, and he took off, and then he flew out towards this butte in order to get the pictures. And here comes this park ranger down, and he came up to him and he waited. He came back in and landed. He says, you're not allowed to fly in a national park. And he goes, no, I can fly in a national park. I just can't take off or land in a national park. And he goes, did you get permission from the reservation? And he goes, somebody's read the law.
Yeah, because I asked my buddy Mike. He lives in San Francisco. He's got a YouTube channel, Flying Cameras, and he does a lot of these erosion videos and all that crap. And I asked him, I said, why did you ever fly out to Alcatraz? And he said, oh, that's against the law and all that crap. So I didn't know.
Why flirt with it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. You know, I mean, but I figured he could at least fly close and hit the zoom. You know, he could fly close to it.
Well, the way we've got it around here is everything around Kennedy Space Center is the Merritt Island National Preserve.
Right.
So it's not a state park, it's a national. So homie, don't fly it.
Right. I got you.
I've got, you know, I've got my 107, I've got FAA airspace authority, certificates of authority to fly and all this. I don't fly in it because you're not coming to me, some state park cop that has nothing to do. You know what I mean?
Right.
Come take my equipment. That's not happening.
Right. Now in Pennsylvania, where I'm at, there are no local They have a state law for flying drones, and no local jurisdiction is allowed to override the state law.
Right.
So if I can fly according to the state here, this local municipality can't say, well, you can't fly here. They can't override state law in Pennsylvania, where I'm at. So the state law is actually the law for the state, not any local. Local municipalities here cannot make their own drone laws.
Right. Nowhere in the country.
I didn't even know that. I just thought it was in this state.
It's a national airspace, and nowhere in the country is anybody but the FAA allowed to make rules.
Okay.
They do anyway.
Right.
They're not allowed to. They can't be upheld in court, but they do anyway.
The city of Laguna Beach, which is just up the coast here from me just a little bit, you cannot fly your drone on over the main public beach area and areas over there that are really used for a lot of cinematographic viewing, that, you know, people like engagements and stuff like that. Yeah. What they're forcing you to do is to get a permit, so that you can get a permit and then they'll allow you to fly.
How much is that permit? Okay, how much is the permit? 25, 30 bucks or whatever. How much?
50 bucks. 50.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It's all money.
Right. The city controller, his daughter needs a new pair of shoes, so go get your permit. She'll get her new shoes at
it's prom's coming up. If anything, they should be getting refunds back and asking people just to come visit.
Yeah, right. Cool.
But the whole thing wind up costing you money if you interact with a state park police or a wildlife police officer. Like we have the Florida wildlife,
right?
Whatever they are, but they're actual police officers.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have to, you know, if they come up and take your stuff, you're the one that's got to fight it. It costs you money.
Department of Fish and Game here in California.
Right. These fish and game guys, they're cops too, legally.
Yeah.
They're sworn officer.
Right. So you can't lie to them either.
Nope.
Well, I remember when I lived on Long Island, we had Sunken Meadow State Park. It had its own police. They actually had a police car.
Yeah.
We're talking about, you know, a beach.
Right.
It had a police car. Anyway, that's the kind of crazy that's going around. With this new remote ID, you probably won't have that because your damn drone won't be able to fly anyway.
Right.
Who knows what will happen? The unknown is still the unknown.
They'll know what's happening.
Yeah. It's even more unknown, Steve.
Yeah.
With all this that's going on.
All unknown. No one knows. And even once it becomes known, the governing bodies won't know what it is anyways, most of them.
Now, Joe Simpson says he can't fly anyway. He's on lockdown. Well, we're on lockdown in Florida, and I go out flying. I went out flying today. I don't understand that. Yeah. What is that? You're flying a drone. You're not getting a virus or spreading a virus in open air.
It's well, for us, it's stay at home. On that guy, it's a vacant lot. That's his home. So I don't see where the problem would have been.
Yeah. But I mean, there's no state martial law that says you have to stay in your house. You can't leave your house.
Right. It hasn't got to that point yet. They want you to stay in.
Right.
As much as possible.
Right.
But they're not saying
we keep on getting emergency alerts here. Emergency alerts popping up.
When I run out of cheese sticks, I'm back at Walmart buying more.
Right.
My cheese sticks and my Gatorade are must-haves.
I don't see it getting to that next level. I think the level that it's at now is going to be about the max level. I mean, they might have to seal off New York City, but other than that, I don't see.
That's easy. Manhattan is an island.
Yeah,
it's an island with 24 bridges going to it.
That next stage, I don't see that coming at all.
Yeah, the scare is gone. You can only put the fear of God in people so many times before it wears off.
Well, the only bad thing about all this crying wolf, and then after a while, everybody goes, "Well, wait a minute. Where's all these numbers? Where's all these?" Because every day, the people in the media, 100,000 are going to die, 200,000, 300,000, maybe 2 million. And then when this don't happen, people start scratching their heads, going, "Well, wait a minute now." Even the dumbos can figure that out.
Yeah. Well,
even after a while, even the dummies can figure out, hey, where's all these people that are supposed to be dying?
Did you see the update from the White House and the new data sheets, how it flattened even more?
No, I didn't even. I'll be honest with you, Steve. I'm a big news hawk. I watch news 24 hours a day. I have not turned on TV to watch this crap for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I just can't take it no more.
Yeah.
I just can't take it no more.
Yeah. It's just that
when Trump shut down the travel and the China and all that, all these people were screaming their heads, "Oh, you're racist!" Everything is racism now. Everything is no matter what you do.
Well, you got to have somebody to blame it on.
It's so political.
You got to have somebody to blame it on.
Right.
You're the reason for the virus. We get a flu every year. This is nothing new.
Right. That's why we get flu shots. We hope it knocks it out before we get it. We hope.
Now, all those people that hate vaccines and don't go and get them, they should have no right to bitch.
No. But that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to get it, because I'm 62. I didn't get a flu shot. The first flu shot I ever got, I was probably 55. Okay. So I was 55 years old before I ever even got my first flu shot.
You know what? I'm 60 and I haven't had a flu shot, and I can't remember when I had my last flu shot. I just don't get sick, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm one of those idiots that takes their vitamin every day.
Yeah, I don't take nothing.
All
I know is I haven't had a drink in 2 weeks.
Centrum Silver, baby. That's going to save me.
These damn bars have been closed for 2 damn weeks here. I'm just sick of this shit.
I know that bars, restaurants, everything.
Yeah, but you can buy the liquor at a store and bring it home.
I don't drink. Keep your private stock at home.
I don't drink at home. It's boring.
It is. It is.
Oh no, but I can get on and be able to sit there and pour myself a cocktail and then binge watch some TV show off of Netflix. And
you can do that, Steve. But I just never was a drinker at home. I just don't like it.
What's Mike talking about? $2,500 fine in Virginia, $5,000 in Maryland, D.C. for flying a drone in a park?
No, if you're caught traveling outside because of it being at home first. In other words, if you're doing something besides going to the bank or going to the market or doing something like that, they're even doing that in Orange County.
Maryland. Okay, that guy, that governor of Maryland, this Larry Hogan, he's got presidential aspirations. He's going to probably be running for president in 4 years. He thinks because he got all the dumbass Democrats in Maryland to vote for him, he can get anybody to vote for him. But that's just not the case. I think they voted for Larry Hogan because that Martin O'Malley was such a calamity catastrophe. They just voted for whoever wasn't a Democrat.
Yep.
I think that's what that was all about.
That happened.
Because that Martin O'Malley was a complete moron. How the hell that guy ever got elected to anything is beyond me.
Well, we can say that about most of the politicians that are in office.
Yeah.
Do you guys
especially the ones in your state, Steve?
Well,
You've got a whole collection of friggin'
Al's
knuckleheads over
closer
here.
to them though than I am though.
They're all crooks. They're all crooks.
Oh, they are. They're
They all
all
have agenda.
right. I won't.
I've
I
got a
won't deny
state
that.
rep. I've got a state rep that every day does a play-by-play. I'm surprised he doesn't tell you by the minute how many people have died.
Is that his name, Randy Fine?
Yeah, every day. Look, 12 people in Melbourne, 4 people in Palm Bay, where I live, 3 people, Seymour. He keeps them hyped up every day. He's telling you the exact amount of cases, where they are. You know, be scared. Everybody's going to get it. You're all going to die.
Right.
How long can this go on before we all say, okay, that's enough?
Right. Believe me, it's not
How
going to be
long?
much
How
longer.
long can the economy last? Would last? I mean,
Right.
any longer? You,
Problem.
So as far as I'm concerned, he's just spreading the fear-mongering.
Well, that's the whole idea. I mean, that's the game plan. But eventually, it's all gonna play out. Eventually,
It's gonna their game plan is to crash the economy. That's
Right.
what it is.
right? Exactly what it is.
This is what we have for our county
Hello.
here
Hello.
in kind of like what Jim has. If Jim shares this is what comes up. And this is a running web page that gives the information. And you can actually break it down to city within the county. If you can share that, Jim.
I think he's talking. Oh, there you go.
So right now we have 502 cases, which do include the deaths that have occurred. There's a total of 7 deaths in the county. And
What
Yes.
county are you in, Steve?
Orange.
You're in Orange County.
Yep.
Okay, I thought you were in San Diego.
Nope. Orange County.
Okay.
But our representative goes down into San Diego County, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Well, we were conservative for our area up here until this last election. And
Right,
it's
when they did all that,
first
when
time
they did
in
that
7
ballot
years.
harvesting, then they got rid of
Tony.
it all.
Hey,
Hey, guys, this is Tony from Viewed This.
what's going on, guys?
Hi, Tony.
What's
What's
I'm
up,
also,
brother?
I'm also the squirrel. So that was the guy talking about being in Massachusetts in the chat. I didn't realize what account I was on. So, yeah. Good morning or good evening.
Are you going through craziness where you live?
Oh yeah, dude, I've lost my mind. I've completely lost my mind. It's crazy up here. We're number 5. You know, we're the 5th state with the most amount of cases right now, and you know it's the same. We've got a moron for a governor. He's an idiot.
See if you can guess where he's from just by the way he talks.
Well, I already said it in the chat. So.
Oh, you did? Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I don't
He's
know.
a mass boy.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean
Asshole.
Charlie Baker? He's a moron.
He's a piece of he's a rhino. That's what he is.
He's worse than that.
I can't stand him. I can't stand him.
Oh, he's a pud.
How do we
Yeah.
get these people in office? Because we don't run?
Listen, I remember when he was running against that what was that broad that was the attorney general he ran against and beat?
I don't know. I was
He
living
ran
in
a couple
Florida
times
for a
for
while, and I
governor
came
and
back
he
up
lost
here,
for
and he was
governor.
the governor.
Yeah, he's a piece of garbage.
I luckily wasn't around for the DePaul Patrick days. Thank God.
Oh, that mini me. He was a clown. He
Yeah.
thought he could be president.
Yeah, for what, 4 days, and then he dropped out.
Right.
Piece of crap. Oh my God.
That's the same way I see like New York, like Cuomo and guys like that. I mean, come on. They didn't. You got a term in New York. New York City is a real small area if you ever go there.
Mhm.
All right. This is a tiny area. Just because there's a lot of people on that friggin' island called Manhattan, you know, doesn't mean. Look at the state on a map. It's a big friggin' place.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't think just because you're popular in New York City that you're going to be president of the United States.
Right. Well, see, Donald Trump made all these other idiots think they could do it too. See,
Right.
that's what happened. You know,
Right.
they didn't have the message that he had, but they thought, well, this moron could do this. I could do it too. Like Mike
Doesn't-
Bloomberg. This guy
doesn't
with
it
all
happen?
the money Trump has.
We get 3 Democratic presidents and then a Republican. It's almost like a cycle, for Christ's sakes. People always want the Democrat, and then They get so tired of the same crap like Clinton, Obama, and then we have to get somebody new in there. Somebody freshen it up. Why are we talking political?
Hey, Mike, what's going on? Sorry, we got lost. We stuck our heads up our political asses, so we apologize for missing you in the chat there, buddy.
Sorry, Mike. Hi, Rick.
Yes, I am, Mike.
The problem is, Mike, no one's looking at the live or the top. We're just all bitching about politics, which is okay. Sometimes you have to.
All right, I changed it to live chat.
Well, what's coming out in the drones? Anything new coming out?
Besides the
Evo 2?
They're all
Evo 2.
shut down.
Well, I tell you what.
Are you guys not allowed to fly drones right now?
Is the Evolve 2. Nobody even looks at this thing or considers it.
Well, good. I don't consider it.
It's a decent looking drone. And it's
Yeah, well, the first one was decent looking too.
It's pretty big.
Yeah, I know.
That first one was decent looking. It looked good. Yeah, but boy,
I saw the videos.
Yeah.
Are the drones? Are they like shutting you guys down right now during this time or something? Or
The repair centers are down, and they're not.
the
selling
repair
anything
centers? Yeah, I
new.
didn't even think about that.
Not drone nerds. They're open.
Well, yeah, for you.
Yeah.
See, I wouldn't go there, but I don't even
Rick.
know what the hell I'd pay. They can inflate the price right now,
Yeah.
right?
I'm surprised you don't reach out to them, Jim. They're in Florida.
No. There's two here. There's this other one in Tampa. Fly Mobility or Fly something like that.
They
You
seem
should
to be
fly
all
your
out.
drone over Mar-a-Lago golf course and just drop a bunch of flyers. Watch above and beyond drones.
We get more no-fly temporary. What are those temporary TFNs?
Yeah.
TFRs. We get more of them every time he wants to fly down to play golf or something. It's ridiculous. Well, you probably get them along the whole coast, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, the whole route of the Air Force One.
Right. That's that's like the whole coast.
Right.
I was living in Bradenton when 9/11 happened, and my roommate was an Army Ranger, and Bush was in Sarasota. We lived like a mile from the Sarasota airport. We were just over the Bradenton line, and he was down there. I don't know. They said he was reading the kids. I didn't realize George Bush could read, but either way, he when Air Force One took off, it literally flew like right over the house. Like it was pretty amazing. It literally just came over the top of our apartment. It's like, holy shit, you know. Sorry for the Bush job. He's kind of a dope. Nice guy, but a dope.
We get that whenever the rockets take off. You know because the house windows shake.
When I was over in Sarasota, we could always see it from over there across the state, and then when it would re-enter the atmosphere, you could hear it.
Have you been to the East Coast where I live, of Florida?
When I was real young, I was over there. My aunt lived at Ormond by the Sea.
Have you noticed the difference? You have way better sand over there.
Oh yeah,
The beaches in Sarasota, Bradenton,
yeah.
whoa, the Clearwater, they're fantastic.
Well, to me, the beaches on the east side of Florida remind me of the beaches up here. The same kind of sand, same kind of granular sand that we have up here. But over on the west coast of Florida, they ship in that fine,
it's like powder,
baby powder, white sand. But it's all shipped in. It's not, you know what I mean? Like they reclaim those beaches every year. Every year they dump tons, and I mean just megatons of sand.
Over here we just dredge it.
Yeah. I mean, and maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe they're dredging it and
dredging it shit back up onto the beach.
Yeah, but
we have these, like the islands I showed in my video. They're man-made. They're because they dredged the intercoastal river, which goes 156 miles long. It's only 4 feet deep, but they dredged the bottom of it so the boats can keep going. You know. I thought
they had to dredge. They had to dredge the harbor, and they had to dredge the harbor in New York so that ship could come in. That one to take care of all the people, the 1,000 hospital beds in or whatever. That was when they were talking about it's going to take 12 days to get here. That was part of the reason why, because they had to dredge for it to be able to come in, but they got it done earlier than they thought.
Well, our local harbor here, we have to have it dredged about every 5 years.
Oh,
We
yeah.
have to go through and dredge in. And what they do is like what they were doing there with the sand. They'll bring in the pumps, and then they'll run the pumps up it, and we have what they call baby beach within our harbor. They'll fill that in there first to bring the fresh, fine sands out, pump it up there, and then they'll run the hosing, pump hose, dang close to 2.5 miles up, and then they'll pump it onto the state beach just south of it.
No kidding. Where are you at? What state?
California, southern.
Oh, okay.
Dana Point.
Gotcha. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Halfway between LA and San Diego. I'm not when you live in paradise. See, I have all the benefits you have. No bugs, no humidity.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got all the humidity for everybody.
Yeah. No bugs, no humidity, and tons of regulation.
Just insanity up next to where L is. I can't help that part.
You're in California too?
I'm in California. I'm 50 miles south of San Francisco.
Gotcha. Bryan, where you at?
I'm in Pittsburgh.
All right. So Jim, you got so I mean, I'm not a big football fan. My friends, I used to love football, and I haven't even watched football in like 4 or 5 years. But I was never a Patriots fan anyways, but you guys got old Tom Brady on there now, huh? That's exciting,
Tampa Bay, yeah. Well, I'm a Jets fan anyway, so I've been sunk for years.
Me too. I hate the Patriots so much that
You're
I
a glutton
for
for
the Jets.
punishment.
Yeah. All these islands are from dredging. They're man-made.
Oh, really?
Dredging. Yep. All along the 156 miles. And they're numbered like BC 27, 28.
Oh, they're just generic numbered. So there's like these islands that you're talking about those little ones out there. So there's not like, they're not islands anybody lives on. They're just islands you could dock on and
these
hang
people,
out on.
I don't know anything about it, seriously, but it's on the map as Vacation Island Paradise on Google Maps. And these people live on it.
Right. Yeah. I put a link in that video of an aerial. When I went and left my comment on your video, I put a link in there, a satellite view of that.
Yeah. I've seen them all. And I wasn't even out there for that. I was out there actually to get this house that was built in 1916. And then I just looked over and I said, because normally you see boats going over to these islands and they go out there camping and stuff like that. And that's cool. But I never saw, like, these are like $1 million homes. They got to be.
Because in Florida, 1916 is really old.
$1 million homes.
How far is it from the mainland?
It's not. And
it's just right across that river right there.
Yeah, let me see this shot here. As I turn to the right, it's right there. But there was so much. Look at this.
Yeah.
Look like summer homes, because when you pass over, it didn't look like anybody was like in them. I didn't see any cars or anything like that.
No,
there's a little island over there too.
Thank God I would have had the cops on me, right? If someone was home. But the point being, like, if these are dredged islands, how did these people put their houses up there and all this stuff?
Barge.
I read about the Spoil Island project. But if you look on Google Maps, it's actually called Vacation Island Playground and Grant Farm Island. But all those islands in the background and all that, those are all just dredged because they made these channelways, these waterways. It's called the Intercoastal Waterway. Because
you know what I see when I look at this picture?
Now that right there, Jim, there's no road out to that, right? Those people have to go out there by boat?
Yeah, no road.
All boat access. Oh, okay. Wow.
The
You
reason
know what I see when I look at that? I'll tell you what I see. A lot of people that have a lot more money than I do.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Exactly.
That's what I see.
I was just
That's
asking
what I
how
see
far
too.
from the mainland in order to get power out there to them.
But that's the ocean on the other side of this island. And where these people are living is right in the middle. So naturally, when we get hurricanes, this outer island is the first one that's evacuated.
Exactly. They're bailing out quick.
Yeah. Every time something comes through, we got to go save all the rich assholes and get them off the island.
That's
Right.
about the size of it.
Jim, I don't mean to interrupt, but I'm gonna take off. I gotta go eat dinner with the fam.
All right, buddy. Yeah, we should kill it. It's 2 hours.
Tony, nice meeting you. Brian, nice meeting you.
Man.
Steve,
Take
take care. Jim, thank you so much for having me on. It's been a blast. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one.
Thank you,
Okay,
man.
All right, man. Be
Appreciate
good,
it.
bro.
Later.
See ya.
Bye, Al.
We still got 14 people watching us for some reason.
You're
They must
bored.
like you, Steve.
Right.
So you were talking earlier, asking if I was going insane up here. So I just want to let you know, if you don't mind, real quick, if you have anybody in your life that you wanna give the big FU to, I started a new series on my second channel called Hey Look Squirrel, and over there it's just a bunch of videos of me telling people to go F themselves. So I got a bunch of different names on there.
We
I've
know
done
somebody
Steve,
like
I've
that.
done Jim. I haven't done Bryan yet, but I have a general one that you can just send to anybody. I got one for the coronavirus too. I recorded a ton more tonight, and I'm going to edit them and put them up, and I'm just
Put
going to
up
build
your-
a huge database.
Link up to
Put your channel links up in the chat here, Tony.
All right, hold on.
View
Yeah,
this is the first one, and
Yeah,
he
so here's what I'll
reviews
do.
channels.
Yes, and it's been we've kind of taken a hiatus. We're kind of working on some. We're working on some different stuff, and then right as we literally had like scripts written, and like we were ready, and we started recording, and then coronavirus hit, and it's like, oh shit. So my son's been homeschooling right now, and everything's going on. So soon, it'll be soon, I'm sure. But for right now, it's been crazy. So I've been working on my channel because I just do it by myself. So it makes it a little easier. But
I need to.
no,
He's telling me I need to make you a moderator. I don't. Okay. Bryan.
Oh yeah, because
isn't
I'm on the
either.
Squirrel channel. Yeah,
Ed
that's 'cause I'm on the
moderator.
other channel.
Where is
Am I
Hey
not
Look Squirrel?
how the hell am I not subscribed to my own damn channel? I thought I was.
There you are. Can you subscribe to your own channel?
No.
Well, it's with my other channel. I mean, but it's
Oh,
because it's because I don't know. I must have just gotten eventually. I don't know. They just took me off.
Thanks, Mike.
Just in chat, Tony, just say hi, and that'll pop up this channel, and then pop the link to your other one.
That's what I'm doing. I'm just grabbing the link right now from the other channel. So, and then I'll go here. So yeah, so that's the link to view this, and then did it come up? Yeah. So that's the link to view this, and you can click on my name, Hey Look Squirrel. I got a whole FU playlist, and I'm building it, and I do product reviews. I reviewed the Wendy's Baconator breakfast sandwich. That was a big hot steamy pile of crap. I don't know, I'm just having fun over there.
Was that thing no good?
It was horrible.
Was it?
I mean, the one I got sucked. You can see the video. I mean, I had floppy bacon. It was just gross. But if you look at the banner on there, it says no niche, just me. Like, I'm not sticking to anything. You know, everybody's like, you got to have a niche. You got to do the, screw you. I do what I want. So
I don't see his link in the chat. Does anybody see his link?
No.
No, I don't see the link.
I don't see it, Tony.
All right, let me try again. Hold on. I did see over here. I see it, but hold on. There it goes.
Okay. Is
It
that
didn't
now,
link
Tony,
the first time? It didn't.
That's your channel right there?
So the link is for my first channel, which I do with my son, where we review and recommend channels to watch.
Right.
And then the Hey Look Squirrel channel, if you just click on that, that's my channel alone, just one that I do where I just kind of, it's like my dumping ground where I can just go on and be stupid, do what I want, you know? So.
Okay,
enjoy.
well, I'm going to. Is that the name that's called Viewed This?
Viewed This is the first, is my channel, me and my son.
That's his main channel.
Okay.
Viewed This is my main channel. That's
Okay.
got 1,400 subscribers on
I
it.
got
And
you.
that's
All
my
right.
Hey Look Squirrel channel has got like 180. So.
I didn't know that you were actually making a channel out of that name. I've seen the name on Jim's show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jim's show is video call-in show.
Yeah.
That's who I'm referring to. And where's your? Did you put the second link in for this Hey Squirrel?
Well, you just got to click on the name.
Oh, that's
Just
right.
click on my name.
Jesus. Brain fart.
Oh man, yeah, it's all right, man. I get them all the time. So yeah, so if you got anybody that you want to send a special FU message to, just let me know. I'll record anything you want me to. I had a guy today who was like, "Hey, will you make one for me?"
Stop staring at my nuts.
He's got a channel called Crow of Judas, so I made one for him today that I'll be putting up later tonight. But yeah, the Drone Ranger.
Mike.
What's up?
Mikey.
Mike?
Let's see.
I figured this would be easier than typing, so what the hell?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
why not?
lazy sucker, you. Type, man, type. Get your type.
Get your typing on. He's been in there typing for 2 hours already.
My fingers about to fall
my
off.
guitar solo, yeah. There's the FU. Yeah, be careful. Oh, I block it out in the thumbnails, but not in the title though. So.
Oh, the
I
Baconator.
don't.
Oh yeah, I see.
No, I'm talking about the word in the FU series there.
Would that get us in trouble? It didn't get you.
No,
in trouble?
it's. Well, no, it's up to you. It's just your channel. I don't know what you show and what you don't show on your channel. I'm just warning you. I don't want you to put profanity if that's not your thing, you know. It's just out of respect for your channel. I popped in to say hi to Andrew Cassini this morning. I popped in real quick. I was getting ready for work and I saw they were live, so I jumped in to say hi. And I was on the Squirrel channel and I was like, whatever you do, just so you guys know going forward, don't pull my channel up ever again on your show. Because I know they don't want to show profanity or anything. And Andrew was like, "Oh, I was on your channel last night. And I know exactly what you're talking about." He's like, "I think it's awesome." Yeah. Oh man.
Hey, so let's get your view on ASMR. What the hell does that stand for anyway?
Oh, it's audio sensory. I don't even know. My view on it, I think it's stupid. I mean, certain things. All right. So like, I get the fact of the ASMR sound, you know, and certain sounds make people react differently and it calms the brain. It excites people. It turns people on, whatever. I understand how the whole concept of it works, but I think that ASMR channels to me aren't, because most people that do ASMR channels, it's like them chewing a lot. Almost everybody focuses on like eating food. Let me tell you something. The one thing that annoys me more than anything in this world is listening to someone eat their food. All right? Like I want to fight people if I can hear you chewing.
That's like the mukbang
You know what I'm saying?
channels. I don't get it.
No, yeah, that's it. Both those channels are out for me. I can't do it. I just can't do it. You know? Someone's sitting there and they got a microphone, they're like eating a sandwich with like chips on it, and they're like, and you can just hear them like just going to town on it. I want to go through the screen. I want to fight them.
Why would you go on YouTube to watch that? You really have nothing to do in your day.
To me, it's like go in the kitchen and make a sandwich.
Steve, be right back. All right.
See you, Steve.
Yeah, go make a sandwich, right?
Yeah. Does anybody know? Let's go to the hot topic of the world. Do you know anybody that's gotten this virus yet?
No.
I know 2 people that have it.
No.
Confirmed?
One of them, huh?
Confirmed?
Confirmed that both of them have gone to the hospital, been tested, and confirmed have it. So one of them is
I
an
live in
old
an
friend of
apartment building
mine.
with like 500 people, and nobody has it that I know of.
Yeah. One guy is a guy that I've been watching on YouTube for like 13 years, and I've just kind of become friends with him over here, and we talk and whatever on video talk once in a while and stuff like that. Good dude. All of a sudden came down really sick, ended up going to the hospital. He's at home. He's just, he's at home riding it out, and he's already feeling better, which is good. He was feeling like, horrible for like 3 days straight, but he ended up, he's going to be fine. He's already on the swing out,
How old is he?
I'm sorry?
How old is he?
Oh, he is 56.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this other guy that I know is 61, and he's hurting bad. He's in Tennessee. He's in a little town. The closest hospital to him doesn't have any ventilators, and it's getting bad for him. I met him through metal detecting. He came up to an event that I was at in Rhode Island. I met him there. We became Facebook buddies. He came back up here last summer and hung out with a bunch of us, stayed up here for 3 days. We all went out and, metal detected for 3 days out in the woods and shit. Good guy, And he just kind of disappeared for a while off Facebook, and then all of a sudden he came back and he was like, "Hey guys, this is what's been going on." And, so he's having a tough go at it right now. He's looking for he's disabled. So he's looking for someone to take him like an hour and a half into the bigger city to see if he can get a hospital that's got a ventilator, because he knows within the next couple of days that's what he's going to need probably. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with him. I haven't talked to him in a day, so he could be. Maybe he's on the upswing too. I don't know. But just weird, when you actually end up talking to people that actually end up getting it.
I saw now. I take nothing on Facebook to be reality, but I did see one where they said there was a stockpile of it was a Trump Twitter, that there was a stockpile of ventilators sitting in a New York City repository doing nothing.
Right.
Okay, that wasn't true then?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, the problem with New York is that, if we're being honest, I was, I'll be honest, I was kind of like, hey, Cuomo's doing a good job. He's coming out, and at least he's coming out and talking every day, and like, he's talking to people, he's taking questions, and he did a good job with all that. But then I end up, at first he was like, hey, I give Trump a lot of credit. He's helping us out. He's doing a great job by us, blah, blah, blah. And then he starts taking shots at the government, because what ends up happening is he ends up going to get supplies, masks, and respirators and everything. And now by the time he goes to get them, all these other states need them. So now, like a bunch of morons, all these states are fighting against each other, which is stupid.
Right.
And then he starts bashing the president. Oh, well, now he's fighting for us, and prices are going up, blah, blah, blah. Well, then they go back and they look at, why he doesn't already have this. He runs a state with all these millions and millions of people. And if something like this ever broke out, New York City, of course, we all know that and Vegas are the two worst places that it's going to spread, because it's so much human contact, And he foregoed building his emergency supply to support the Sanctuary City Act and support, helping illegal aliens. So I'm sorry, but I'm sorry for the people that live in this state. And I was thinking, wow, what a cool guy, and he's out there every day and he's taking questions and stuff. And then I realized that like this guy put his people in the position that they're in. He screwed his constituents, Right.
Well, listen,
he really did.
You want to hear something that fucking was bizarro world last week? Last week in Pittsburgh, the city of Pittsburgh garbage collectors went on strike.
Oh God.
Okay, now listen to why they went on strike. This is the good part. This is the best part of all. They didn't go on strike because of money or anything like that. They went on strike because they were pissed off that everybody else got to stay home and they didn't.
Yeah.
Everybody else,
God.
All these school teachers and all these other city employees, they all got to be off of work and be paid, and they didn't. So they said, screw you, we're going to do that too. So we're just going to go on strike. So that's what they did. They went on strike and stayed home.
I got, they passed a stimulus package, and they're going to give people on unemployment $600 more per week. And I'm like, $600 a week. So if you get paid 70% of what you made, if you made $1,000 a week, they're going to pay you $700 a week. So for the extra $600 a week, you would have had to made $2,000 a week and be losing $600 for that to balance out. Right. So most people are going to get an extra $600 a week, but most people are making $500, $600, $700 a week. So it's double what they should. You're making double the money to get fired or laid off.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Right.
I understand. I understand people are hurting. I understand a lot of people lost their jobs, and I definitely understand people need help. I get that. But
we're all out of,
for people like me who are still working out there, now I'm at risk. I'm out there because I'm an essential employee, and now Joe Blow's making twice what I make because he's getting an extra $600 a week for being on unemployment.
Right.
I see what you're saying.
I mean, I'm working every day too, Tony. So I have to go fix things, and
I work in the liquor industry. We're essential employees, and we're essential. A lot of people are like, I've had people like, I don't understand. What? That's stupid. Well, the reason being is because if we don't keep, I work for a distributor, so we distribute to the liquor stores and restaurants. If we don't keep supplying them, then the alcoholics can't get their booze. Then they get sick. They get withdrawals and they get sick. When they get sick, they go to the hospital.
Right.
We can't have a bunch of people getting alcohol withdrawals and going to the hospital right now with all the crap going on.
Right. You just got to keep feeding. Just keep feeding.
That's why we're essential. And on top of that, we also sell 192 proof liquor. Almost every company has one in their book. and that's what you can make hand sanitizer out of. So
Who do you work
Yeah.
with, Tony?
I work for a distributor up here in Massachusetts, a small distributor. And so it's I'd rather not say who I work for, but I work for a small
The
distributor.
reason why I was asking, I used to own a liquor store here in California.
Oh yeah, I'm up in Mass, but I don't work for one of the big ones. Do you have what is it? Worth? Is it Worth? No, what the hell is the name of it? Anyway, there was one that merged with the company I used to work for in Florida. I used to work for a company called Premier Beverage, and they merged together with Worth or somebody who's in almost every state, and now they're called Breakthrough Beverage in all the states now. That was the company I worked for in Florida when I was down in Jim's neck of the woods. But up here, I work for just a smaller distributor. So.
Well, our distributors also distribute the soda.
No, not here.
Mm-hmm.
If you're getting your beverages, it's just not beer.
Yeah, some of them are. It all depends. Like when I worked for the second largest supplier in Florida. We didn't distribute any soda. The only soda we distributed was ginger beer. A lot of the beer companies distribute the soda. A lot of the liquor companies don't. But you're right. Some of the alcohol companies do. Florida's laws are all screwed up anyway. Up at St. Augustine, they built the St. Augustine distillery in the old ice house up there. Where they used to make the ice blocks, for people to put in their freezers back in the early 1900s. So this huge plant, they build this big distillery, and in the front of the place, in the actual ice house, they build this gorgeous restaurant in there where you get craft cocktails and everything, right? So they make St. Augustine gin and vodka they started with, and they released a whiskey. They're doing, I don't know, a cognac and something else. But anyways, not a cognac. Sorry, brandy. Anyway, it's funny because the way the liquor laws work in every state, the liquor laws they're all stupid. But in Florida, it's really stupid. So these people are in St. Augustine. The company I worked for was in Tampa, and we distributed them throughout the whole state, right? So they had to ship all the product from their warehouse down to Tampa, and then they had to order their own product from us to stock their bar in the front of the building, because that's the way the law works. So they had to sell it to us at a certain price, and then they had to pay our price for it and buy it from us.
Yeah.
So they potentially, if something happened, they could be out of stock on their own product because one of our trucks broke down or something, and they'd have it right in the back of the building, and they couldn't touch it because that's the way the laws are. It's so stupid. Because the whole thing is with the state, and I was like, why? That it doesn't make any sense, right? Well, the reason why it doesn't make any sense, and the reason why it's like that is because if they can just walk a case of vodka from the back of the building to the front of the building, Uncle Sam doesn't get his tax dollars on it.
Right.
That's why they have to do it that way.
Same way here. That's pretty much the same way it is California. But
Yeah.
here you had your liquor distributors, and then they'd also distribute wine. Beer is strictly through the beer distributors of who they have. We have a couple of them here. But then as time went along, when all the microbreweries started coming out, then the bigger breweries started carrying some of their lines too, the beer distributors. And then soda is strictly soda. You have Coca-Cola distributing Coke, Pepsi-Cola, 7-Up. They're all delivering their own.
And Steve, what doesn't make any sense to me is like I would see, situations like that happen with a couple different places, and then like you said that the microbreweries popped up, but they can just serve their own beer because what they did different was they would just tax them on gallonage straight across the board. It's all gallonage. So every keg you're going to pour, we're just going to tax you on the gallons. Well, it's all gallons in hard alcohol too, but for some reason the way the law is written, they can't do it that way. It's so stupid.
Do we still have
you
that
would think
Sunday? What do they call it? Sundown law?
no,
Where
no.
you can't serve before noon on Sunday or something like that?
No.
Yeah, it used to be called the sundown law or something.
Well,
Maybe, but
poor law here. We have it sale or on sale, 6 a.m. to 2 a.m. here in California. You got to shut down from 2:01 to 5:59.
4 hours. Yep. And in Florida, Jim, they might have had that before, but on Anna Maria Island, there's a place out there called the Anchor Inn, and I used to go on Sunday mornings. We would meet there at 7 a.m., me and my friends, and start drinking Bloody Marys. And it would be a drink. It would just get fucking drunk all day. But we'd start at 7 a.m. on Sundays at the Anchor, you know. But the Anchor was open every day, 7 a.m. every day. And yeah, you didn't see too many bars that open that early, even though they could, just because you don't have, you know. So like we started opening bar that I ran. We started opening 2 days a week. We would open at 7 a.m. And we did that because we had two big companies right near us. We had Tropicana, and then up the road from us, we had Pierce Manufacturing, the place that makes fire trucks. And those 2 days are the days that the 2 days that we would open were the 2 days that the night shift would get out on. It was their payday. So one day the night shift, you know, was getting out of Tropicana on their payday, and Pierce. So we opened early in those days because those were the days those people drank. They'd only drink one day a week on payday. They'd go out and have some cocktails, and that'd be it, you know.
Mhm.
So we opened early just for them, but it was beneficial. I mean, you know, you'd go in there. I'd go in there at 7 a.m. and open the bar up and get it rolling. By 8 o'clock, the place is packed. By 11 o'clock, everybody's gone, and I've made over $300. It's crazy, you know.
What the heck is that law? I can't. It's not sunshine law, and it's not sundown
They
law.
used to call it blue
Yeah,
law.
the blue law. Yeah.
Blue law.
Yeah.
Blue book. That
And then
in
like,
Massachusetts,
because Rick just posted in here in Georgia, no sales on Sunday. 'Cause
Right.
When we were in Texas, you had to go to a liquor store to buy hard liquor. You couldn't
Right.
buy hard liquor in a market like here. I could go into any of the major markets and you buy booze, wine, everything, 24 hour, well, sale times, but 7 days a week. Over there, they shut down the liquor stores at 9 o'clock. Was it at 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock?
In Florida, they call them ABC stores.
Yeah.
yeah, the old ABC stores.
Yeah.
Those liquor stores.
That was the first time I heard of that. Is when I moved to Florida, the ABC stores.
Yeah, well, it's just a chain down there. That's all it is.
Oh, I thought it was a liquor.
It's just a chain. Because I thought the same thing, and then I learned later on when the Indians started buying them up one at a time that they're just regular liquor stores.
Oh, see, I didn't know. I've never seen Mike's liquor store. You know what I mean?
State stores. That was that way in Utah. When years ago when I was over there, we went to go skiing, and you had to buy your wine and stuff from a state store, and then this was the kicker. They had a bar in the resort, and we were skiing on at the ski resort. They had a bar, and what you did is you brought your own hard liquor in. And then they would put your name on the bottle.
Oh, yeah.
And then they would charge you a service fee for the glass and for like soda or 7-Up or Coke or whatever. And they'd mix the drinks for you and then serve it.
We call those bottle stores.
Yeah, bottle. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bottle
Those are
bars,
after hours
BYOB.
clubs. Yeah.
Yeah, you brought your own booze, and then they charge you to serve it to you.
Yep.
Right. So
whatever that is.
That is the greatest idea ever in mankind.
So the Blue Book laws that Rick was talking about in Georgia, we had the same thing in Massachusetts, and they were written back in the 1800s. They're religious laws, so that nobody did anything on a Sunday, you know?
Yeah.
But ours got overturned 15 years ago in Mass. They finally were like, this is stupid. So now we can buy booze on Sundays. Ironically, what we would do was we would drive to New Hampshire to get liquor on Sundays because we couldn't get it in Massachusetts. And now New Hampshire has state-run liquor stores. So the state runs all the liquor stores. If you have a restaurant and you want to buy liquor for your restaurant, you call one of those state liquor stores and they get your order together at the back dock and you go pick it up yourself. That's how it works in the state runs in the state run where the local government runs the stores, right?
Well, that's how it is in Pennsylvania.
Right.
Yeah.
So
it's all state stores. All the liquor is
right.
You have to buy it from the state.
Right.
Are they still selling liquor in Pennsylvania right now?
In the state store, yeah. They call them state stores. That's what they call it.
So in certain counties in Pennsylvania, they shut it off. I'm not sure which ones they are. They're in certain counties they did, but not the whole state. In New Hampshire,
the state store is your liquor store?
Yeah, the state controls the liquor stores here.
Yeah.
So what happened in New Hampshire was they said all non-essential state employees must stay home. Well, who's the least essential state employee you have? The guy ringing the register for $9 an hour at the liquor store.
Yeah.
Because the state runs the liquor store. So as soon as they said that, all the liquor stores closed. So right now in Massachusetts, we're getting clobbered in all the towns up on the north of our state. We're doing great. We're doing awesome because everybody's coming from New Hampshire to buy the liquor. So it's great.
Driving over to pick it up.
Loading them up every week, yeah.
We used to do that in Arizona, in Yuma, Arizona. The bars would close at 1 o'clock, but 1 o'clock was 2 o'clock in California. So it was literally a mile. We would leave one bar and then go a mile and drink in California for another hour.
Well, the other thing too is on the Colorado River there, you'd be in California. If you weren't old enough, you could be 19 to buy beer in Arizona. So you just cross over the bridge, go over and buy your beer, and then come back over and drink it.
Funny.
No, I got to get to bed. Hey, listen, guys, I have to work in the morning. I got to get to sleep.
Thank you, Brian. I really appreciate it, man.
Thanks for having me. Nice to meet you, Tony, Steve.
Brian, good to see you.
Brian.
I have got to go to bed because I have to get up and work.
Yeah.
Good night, guys.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
Brian.
Man.
Anytime.
Stay safe, man.
Yeah, I got to get going for dinner here.
You're not kidding. It's 10:30 here, and I need to eat dinner too.
Yeah. So I will bid you adieu too. Tony, nice to meet you.
It's me, Steve. Take care of yourself, man.
Yeah,
Steve.
I've seen you around on other shows. Jim, thank you.
Whenever you take off, I always think it's pizza night because we're usually on Matt's show.
Yes. And that was the comment that somebody put in there going, how could you go out for pizza? And delivery.
I know. They're still delivering here. I know that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're making their sales have dropped only 10% from what they were before the pizza place that we go to. I've been going to it for 30 some years. Their sales have only gone down by 10%.
Do you think that's because people don't know they're still open? Because, most
a lot of it is, I think. And then some people only would go there for dine-in. They don't bother with the delivery or
Fear.
Takeout. And you can go there and pick it up, too. Just take it as takeout.
Fear is also affecting a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
So, a lot of stores are like, hey, we always did great on takeout, and we could survive just on takeout if we had our normal takeout, numbers.
Right.
So now that the dining room is closed, they thought the takeout would pick up.
Right.
But it's not as busy as they're expecting. And a lot of it has to do with fear. People are afraid to, people don't want to touch anything that somebody else touched. Some people just,
that's it. You're hearing, well, were they tested? How do I know they don't have it? Come on, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's pizza.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, Mike, good rest of the night, sir.
All right. Good night, Steve. Enjoy your dinner.
Yeah. Thank you. And everybody in chat.
I'm going to shut her down too, boys.
And everybody out there. Gary, I wish you all a wonderful night. Take care.
Jim, thanks for the invite, man. I appreciate it. Sorry it took me so long to get on, but your email came through just as I sat down to watch Hook with the kids. That old
really?
Dustin Hoffman, Robin Williams movie. So, but I appreciate the invite, man. Thanks for having me up, man. Good hanging
Appreciate
with
you
you.
coming.
Absolutely. Anytime.
Love chatting with you.
Anytime.
All right. Mikey.
Yeah. All right, man.
Later, brother.
I appreciate you having me on here. I would have come in sooner, but I don't know, man. I didn't know how soon you were going to shut it down or whatnot, but I was tired of typing, so I figured I'd come on in.
I know it's a pain in the butt. I hate it too. Especially when you have on an iPad or something and you can't type in the person's name.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's a pain in the butt.
The ad symbol and all that other crap. So,
yeah.
All right, man. Good meeting you, Tony.
Videos, you guys be good.
All right, man. Everybody have a good night.
All
See you
right.
guys.
See you guys later.
All right. Good night.